President Joe Biden is going to brief the country on the state of our union, and today I'm going to brief you about the state of the David Pakman Show. It's been an incredible year, the second year of the COVID pandemic, the first year of Joe Biden's presidency, economic uncertainty, vaccines, inflation, other calamities. 2021 was an incredibly strong year from the standpoint of the show. And I can report to you that the state of the David Pakman Show is very, very strong. Some say the best that we've seen. In 2021, we added more than 200,000 YouTube subscribers. Not the most we've ever added in a year, but the most we've ever added in a non-election year. And that is now putting us within striking distance of 1.5 million YouTube subscribers. Our friends over at the Young Turks have been really the standard bearers for left-wing YouTube channels for a very long time. And I can report to you with total peace and love that in the last few months, the David Pakman Show YouTube channel is receiving more daily views than the Young Turks' main channel. Friendly competition, their network is way bigger than ours. We love everybody over there, but just a reminder, with a small team, you can do some pretty amazing things. In terms of the audio podcast, monthly downloads are now at their historic peak. Our previous peak was that crazy period between the November 2020 election and the Trump riots. That was our high water mark. We are at a new high water mark now with the audio podcast, the most downloads a month in the history of the show. We've got new platforms quickly growing, nearly 100,000 followers on Instagram, nearly 100,000 followers on TikTok. We've launched YouTube Shorts content, Instagram Reels content. 2021 also saw the return of the David Pakman Show town hall events, hugely popular with our core audience, but the year was not without some major challenges. We received a 90-day monetization ban from Facebook after our content was wrongly flagged for spreading COVID disinformation, something we would never do. But it was a big hit to our revenue, thanks to the hard work of nearly a dozen Facebook employees who are in our audience. We were able to get that monetization ban reversed in under a month, but it's a stark reminder of how precarious these revenue sources are. More recently, we got a 24-hour ban and a community guidelines strike on TikTok due to another false positive in a segment where we criticized right-wing actor Kevin Sorbo and his opinion about healthcare. We were banned for 24 hours, and now one strike closer to a permanent ban from TikTok. And of course, we were targeted by right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, who launched a brutal attack on my appearance, on my eyes, on my face, discharged a number of salvos against our bonus show. So we're up against some major obstacles in attempting to move towards a sort of more media literate, critically thinking society. Donald Trump continues to deliver these erratic, febrile screeds on a regular basis. His followers love it. Fox News continues to spread disinformation, sometimes spending 24, even 48 hours talking about Hillary Clinton must soon be going to prison given all the crimes she supposedly committed. Just boogeymen of critical race theory, cancellations, Dr. Seuss. It's pervading right-wing media, and their followers fall for it. A seemingly on speed Don Jr. regularly inciting the most bottom-dwelling pond scum of the political right in these apoplectic froths over misunderstandings and distortions, and that's not going to stop. Sadly, and it is sad, even some on the left fall for the disinformation. Many so-called leftists wildly attacking me for being a supposed imperialist bastard, despite my constant refrains that I am against American intervention abroad in almost all cases. The facts do not matter to too many people. But we will not give up, and we will continue to persevere because I see the good in the independent media audience. I see it in that 15-year-old Canadian kid who recently called in, inspired so many of you with his wit and his intelligence and his curiosity. I see it in the people emailing me 20, 30, 40 times every day. Even though their emails have been filtered into the trash for months, they're still enthusiastically emailing me. I see it even in the right-wing troll callers who we know are calling constantly because they see us having an impact. That's why they won't stop leaving me voicemails. They're worried that we're talking sense and that people are understanding it. That's the David Pakman Show I know. And that's why I can confidently tell you today, the state of the show is as strong as ever. And it makes me hopeful about the future of independent media. Thank you, and God bless the United Church.
Wow, what a speech there, folks. Letting everybody know the latest in terms of the state of the David Pakman Show. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. I am glad to have you here. We are just moments away, really, somewhere between a few minutes and 7 hours away from Joe Biden's State of the Union speech. It'll probably be at 9 Eastern, but it could be anywhere in that range. And it will subsequently be followed by the Republican response to the State of the Union address. And that is expected to be remarkably weaponized. And so we have all of the feeds here for you. I do want to mention we are also very closely watching what's happening in Ukraine, where you could quite literally have massive dumps of bombs, and that's not a joke, as Joe Biden is speaking tonight, as has been happening around this time every night. Now it is 3:09 a.m. in Ukraine. Sometime in the next 90 minutes, potentially significant escalation. So we're going to be watching all of it, and I am so glad to have everybody here with us today. I do want to say, I hope that this is not, I hope this doesn't bode poorly for us. But we've never had to ban as many people as we banned today before starting. Like an hour ago, I looked through the chat on YouTube and it was toxic gutter trash. And I think we banned 11 people before we were even streaming. And that's never happened before. And that does not bode particularly well, but maybe we can turn it around. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys, but it was very, very ugly what was going on there. In the meantime, a bunch of different huge stories. In a moment, I'm going to tell you what I'm hoping to hear or what I'm expecting to hear from Joe Biden. There are a bunch of different breaking stories, including that the Belarusian president appeared to share a map suggesting Russia plans to invade Moldova next. And we're going to look at this in detail on tomorrow's show. But you know, when the intelligence started to suggest Putin's ambitions may be bigger than Ukraine, and we said it's probably true, some people said, no, there's no way. Well, it appears that it may well be the case. So we're going to be covering that tomorrow, and that's the latest news. If you want to play Joe Biden's State of the Union bingo with us today, it is available to you. You can generate a custom bingo board at davidpakman.com/bingo. I will be playing today, and I invite you to play along with me. I think it would be a really, really great thing. We'll go through the different boxes in a little bit, but davidpakman.com/bingo is the place to check that out. Russian forces escalating attacks on Ukraine's civilian areas. One of the stories that's been told, and it really is just a story, really more of a fantasy, is that only military targets have been hit by Russia. And that does not appear to be the case at all, with endless evidence to contradict it. So that is the latest out of Russia. And it's all looking very, very bad, to be honest. We talked yesterday and today on the podcast. I hope you're signed up to the podcast about the Ukrainian ambassador to the United Nations saying, listen, if Putin's determined to just destroy everything, he could just kill himself. He doesn't need to destroy all these other people and places. He could just take his own life and that's it. And many people saying, I'm not for suicide, but that is probably the best thing Putin could do at this point in time. Let me start welcoming people in and saying hello. Brian via Super Chat says, thank you for the great coverage and insights, David. Great to have you here, Brian. Zeph says, David, sir.
Sir.
How strongly do you think this address will be? Pretty strongly. Sarah says, I seem to recall you were going to do a show with Matt Dillahunty. Whatever happened to that? That was like, I feel like it was about a year ago. It got canceled because I had a conflict and it just never got rescheduled. Larry says, hello, David, my fellow Pack Maniacs. Hope everyone is doing well. Glad bless. Yes, exactly.
And God bless the United States.
Right. Absolutely and completely correct there. Okay, let me thank great people who are here having a party. The following people have just signed up via Twitch and Twitch Prime, and I can't tell you how much I love it. Whoa, already a ton of people. Jay Tanegawa, Pizza Man, John the Elder Dragon, Slingblade, Gazleen, John the Elder Dragon with a gift, Icean, Ja Chrissy, Oswin and Andrew Dale, Drone Footage, Fino, Jen here, Badness, JP DeBeast, Deeper Shades of House, Fatsy, Frank Melk, Mellow Melly, Sam the Sleazebag, Wanson, Mankicks, and Ryan Rincon. Oh my God. We are already all the way up to 23. And I haven't even played any voicemails from Whitney yet. Shocking. Truly shocking. David, can we get a ban men?
And we will ban men.
One thing. Okay, so what do I expect to hear tonight from Joe Biden? Let's go into that. I don't expect Joe Biden to advocate for banning men. I don't expect Joe Biden to talk about Mexelcone. Right. Here's what I expect. Number one, I do expect Joe Biden to sort of claim victory over the virus. I do. There have been over the last 24 to 48 hours issues President Biden will address. Okay, these are general. So in terms of the tone, I do think he's going to sort of claim victory on the virus and say a lot of people can stop wearing masks. The CDC has released new guidelines to that end. I think we're going to see that. I think we are going to see significant foreign policy focus because of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. I do believe that Joe Biden is going to start to position the case for electing Democrats in November. And I don't know how successfully he will do it. I'm curious to see that. I believe Joe Biden will address inflation. I am thinking Joe Biden will propose some major new policy initiative. He needs a policy success. And then beyond that, I think there's going to be a lot of kind of like PR focused stuff. I believe that it's the wife of some prominent Ukrainian person, I guess, is going to be up in the gallery with Jill Biden. And so I think there's going to be a lot of that. I think it's going to be heavy on rhetoric. I would guess it goes about 70 minutes, roughly, is my prediction. I'm curious to hear from others what you expect as far as that goes. Chakaseki says Mike Pillow is going to rebuild the Russian economy with his proposed Pillow Stroika. Hey, by the way, why isn't Pillow donating pillows to Ukraine? I mean, quite frankly, he's donating them to anyone other than in Ukraine. It's crazy. Kevin says, David, I cannot imagine another predator to watch the State of the Union with.
That is a frickin' predator right there.
Brian says, I understand many countries providing weaponry to Ukraine, but is there any substitute for countries providing troops? There really isn't. And I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying there really isn't a substitute for that. Joshua says many news outlets talk about the importance of giving Putin an out to end conflict. What do you think that looks like? Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't, we talked about this on the bonus show today. I don't particularly think this is a likely outcome of negotiations. But if there were to be negotiations that Putin would accept, my guess is it would look something like Putin leaves everywhere other than Donetsk, Luhansk, and Crimea. He's allowed to keep them. He signs off on he's not in principle opposed to Ukraine joining NATO, but it's really unlikely to, it seems unlikely that Ukraine would accept it, and it seems unlikely Russia would accept it. But when you think about what are the main points that you would imagine would come up, they are those, but it seems completely implausible that it's actually going to be accepted. So I don't know. Let's see what else we've got. Will I cover the Republican response? I probably will. It depends how the stream is going, but I probably will if it's not past my bedtime. David, sir, I turned my husband into a Pac fan. We're watching together. He even got his own membership. Thank you for all you do. No, thank you. Why doesn't Biden announce he's legalizing weed? It's unclear he can legally do it. There's disagreement as to whether he can. Let me thank some other great people. Brian Marks just signed up on my website. Doretha Villatoro is a new member. And Logan Rutledge has just signed up. New members 24, 25, and 26. Also, thanks over on Twitch to Kay McGregor, Short Brief, Napa Skipdog, Final Heaven, Paco Taco as well. Putting us in a really strong position at 31. If you're just joining us, we're about 40 minutes from the State of the Union. We do have Biden bingo. Let's review what our boxes are on Biden bingo. DavidPakman.com/bingo. You can generate your own bingo board. I expect to crush all of you in bingo. Okay, let's go through the boxes. 1, Biden tells one of those dad used to say stories. He often will tell those stories. 2, Biden uses the term folks to address people. Biden whispers into the microphone. As some of you know, he will sometimes do that.
Get vaccinated.
For example, mentioning Zelensky. I think it's very likely he will mention Zelensky. We see someone in the audience sleeping. Discussion of gas prices. Likely. I think likely. Biden mispronounces something. Listen, Trump would do it. Sometimes Biden does it as well. Not the biggest deal.
Mexico and
Biden capping or punctuating a story with, I mean it. Referring to the soul of America. I think that's likely. Mentioning nukes in some capacity. Using the term malarkey.
This idea is a bunch of malarkey.
When he says, I shouldn't say this, that's one of my favorites that Biden does, where he sort of goes, these people, they really, I shouldn't say it. That's one of my favorites. Reference to inflation, I think is quite plausible. Talking about Scranton. I love Scranton mentions. Republicans not clapping for something obviously good and like uncontroversial. Referring to Putin as a thug, talking about my friends on the other side of the aisle, using the phrase, here's the deal. Hold on. Do I have here's the deal? I don't. Saying something is not a joke.
Not a joke.
Referring to Donald Trump as my predecessor, announcing COVID victory. I think it's almost certain he will do some version of mission accomplished. Using the phrase, let me be clear. Make no mistake is another one, and references to people's kitchen tables. Joe Biden often uses that rhetorical tool, talking about people's conversations at the kitchen table. That is our bingo board for today. And a lot of people seem to be feeling very confident, very, very confident. DavidPakman.com/bingo. You can generate your own bingo board, all right? Thank you very much, everybody. G. Bradbury says it would be awesome if you could wish good luck to my wife, Sam, who is about to start an econ exam. Good luck, Sam. Sounds like a stupid question, but what's the difference between NATO and the UN? The UN, the United Nations is, I would call it a political organization of member nations. NATO is a shared defense organization, specifically for shared defense. So their purpose is different. How epic would it be if Biden gestures to his Ukrainian guest from the floor and upstands President Zelensky? That would be interesting. What's your opinion on the clearly racist rhetoric in Western media when talking about Ukrainian versus other refugees? Well, it's a form of racism. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what else to say. If only his Novichur, Putin's cup of tea make him die of totally natural causes. Yes. David, do you think Russia plans to restore the original empire by also invading Poland, Lithuania, and Romania? Also, will China invade Taiwan? I think the latter is more likely. An incredibly powerful $50 super chat from Hawkeye Heyoka, who says, love the show, David. Glad I found it. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. You guys want to see some stuff? I have stuff. If you guys want to look at stuff, should we do it? Here's some really funny stuff on TikTok. By the way, you can follow us on TikTok at David Pakman Show. These are our friends, the Good Liars. Here is a guy who thinks Trump is still president, but still blames Biden for everything bad, which is just, it's pretty good.
So Trump is the current president right now?
Yes, sir.
So are you mad at Trump for the high gas prices?
No. It's not Trump's fault.
Whose fault is it then?
It's Joe. He's got to set all this.
But Joe
up.
Biden, where's Joe Biden? He said he's not president.
He's not the president.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is.
So how could the gas prices be his fault if he's not president?
What you don't understand what they're trying to do. They have
Okay.
to wake up the dingleberries that are still asleep.
Right.
Okay. You think that Trump is actually still in power right now?
Wow. So that's pretty weaponized, and there's some really good ones
Vladimir
here.
Putin.
He's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
You don't like you to poison you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Vladimir Putin is a bad guy?
Yes, definitely.
Control freak.
Control freak.
'Cause
Yeah.
Ukraine just as
Power
big as Russia.
power grab, steal people's land. I mean, you already own Russia. Why do you leave people alone?
Right. And how would you feel if somebody called him a genius?
I'd feel sick.
Yeah. I think that person probably wouldn't be fit to lead, right?
No.
Right.
No.
And I said, this is genius. Putin declares a big portion of the Ukraine. Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful.
Right.
What do you think about Vladimir Putin?
So that's pretty full on, and here's one more.
Say in 2024, a crazy thing happened, and Biden were running against Putin for president of the United States.
Putin.
Who would you vote for?
I would vote for Putin.
Wow. Say
So that's pretty good. That's the Good Liars on TikTok. And we have an extremely explosive situation on TikTok, by the way. If you're not following us, we've got to be close to 80K followers. TikTok is a great spot. And there's these like very weirdly angled dad video type angles. And there's a lot of crazy stuff. One day I had a very, very big hair problem in a TikTok. I don't remember where that is. Was it here?
So I tweeted about
oh my
this.
God, no. All right. So anyway, that's TikTok. So we got that going on. Let me see what else I had for you guys. Okay, COVID restrictions we already talked about. Oh, listen to this. Do you guys remember that completely insane Canadian trucker convoy where they were against mandates but not vaccines, and then it was coming to the United States? This was the culmination of the U.S. trucker convoy. Look at how insanely embarrassing this is. Like, just there's no one here. This guy was talking to basically himself. Oh, this video is not even playing. See if I got a different one. Here we go.
Place that I used to raise my children and provide for my family. I had these.
Look at this. There's two kids sitting here. Just no one. Think of the bad luck of you. The trucker convoy is stupid anyway because there's almost no mandates left. And then Russia invades Ukraine and no one pays attention to your convoy. And the convoy is based on you being the victim of tyranny as Ukraine is getting invaded. Just terrible timing for these truck losers.
Government officials coming to me, to my face, saying, you may not be open.
Right.
Huge red flag from the start. Didn't make sense. Started reading the Bible more, started getting the Constitution more. Something's off.
Yep. No, something's definitely off. All right. Here's another one. Why is this one not playing? Let's see.
So that's number one.
Check this out.
Number two, I needed these cameras here. I'm going to be straight up. I needed these cameras here.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no crowd.
Because that's the message I needed. This is the message that I need to get out. They are here. and I need them to listen to what I'm about to tell them. That is, I just want to be straight up from the start. So it didn't matter if one person showed up, a million people showed up.
And one person showed, yeah. I mean, just a humiliating failure.
We're just going to be, cutting, things are going to get worse. And I know there's a lot of people here today, and there's a lot of people watching that have.
No, there's not. There's not a lot of people here at all.
Children. Things are going to dramatically change.
In order to have a lot of people there who have children, you need to have a lot of people there.
Continue to dramatically change. And listen, media and what you see and what you hear, think about how so far one way one thing is, and so
I have to tell you guys, I love that it went humiliatingly wrong. Like, I just love it. Am I a bad person because I love that it went completely bad and it just was a complete waste of time to everybody involved? Am I bad for that? I'm good. Oh no, people are saying I'm good. It was the Million MAGA rally. I know, guys. I know. Trump said it was the biggest crowd he's ever seen. He never saw a bigger crowd than that.
And we will ban men.
Super chats coming in. Christopher says, is it plausible if Republicans have both houses that this proxy war continues? Will Republicans make it harder for the president to aid Ukraine to push the narrative Democrats didn't do enough? 110%. Absolutely, Christopher. Absolutely. David, first-time super chatter, long-time watcher, wondering what kind of espresso machine and grinder you use. I use the Breville Barista Express with built-in grinder. I know a lot of people think that those built-in grinders have real beta energy, but it's fine. It's fine. I've had it for, how long have I had it? I've had it since 2016. I've had it 6 years. Let's do some math. How much money do we think I've saved by having this espresso machine for 6 years? Let me think about this. Let's see. I typically make one cappuccino 5 days a week, and then maybe like 4 days a week let's say I make 9 drinks, and then maybe my girlfriend has a couple drinks. Let's just make it 10. Let's say I make 10 drinks a week. Okay. 10 drinks a week times 6 years times, let's do 45 weeks, because I'm not home all the time. Okay, so that's 2,700 drinks. And then at this point, most, kind of like the types of cafes I would go to, they really overcharge for cappuccino. Let's say that they charge $4.25. So that's $11,000 worth of coffee at the retail price. And then I've got to figure out, I think I calculated that. So let's see, 11,475. I think I calculated each cappuccino is about 45 cents worth of milk and 18 cents worth of beans times 2,700. So my costs are 1,701. Okay, so I've got 11,475 worth of coffee, 1,701 in materials, and the machine itself was $600. So I've saved $9,100. It is much cheaper to make your coffee at home, folks. That's just incredible. Oh, whoops. Did I put 60 months for? Okay. So I saved even more. Yeah, it's crazy what's going on. Sorry, guys. The math went haywire. That was just some quick math. Okay. What internet browser do you use, and do you use an ad blocker? I use multiple browsers, and yes, I use an ad blocker. Oh, I didn't include the cost of the water. That's true. That's true. What was in the soccer ball Putin gave his boy Donald J. Trump? Good question. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we continue to await Joe Biden, expecting all of this to start very soon. Here's a little something for you. Mitch McConnell was again given an opportunity to condemn when Trump called Putin genius and smart, and he opted not to. Also, McConnell has a really bad cough.
Leader McConnell, you've long been critical of President Vladimir Putin. Was it a mistake for the former president to praise Putin as very savvy, smart, and his Ukraine strategy is genius?
What President Putin is a ruthless thug who's just invaded another sovereign country and killed thousands of innocent people. That's what President Putin is.
Wow. So opting not to criticize Donald Trump for calling Putin savvy, genius, and smart, really struggling to speak, Mitch McConnell, and we wish him absolutely the best and hope that he is doing well. but he does not sound good. Does not sound good. I want to say thank you to Deborah Smith and Pensy Richardson, who have signed up on my website, new members 32 and 33. And everybody watching on Twitch, welcome. Welcome. Incredible people on Twitch getting Twitch Prime subscriptions, including Chariot Blonde, Beth Graham, Crimson Elric, who says, please shout out my kids, Alex and Julia. Alex and Julia, welcome. That's Crimson Elric, PR Smoker, and Chomp Suey. Thank you for the support on Twitch, putting us at 38. Okay, let's see what a few people in the audience think about tonight's State of the Union address. I don't know. What does Whitney think?
So the ENTCs in this category, I'm not sure if it's probably going to go for like the 7-6 of the Enneagram, like specifically.
No, you're going to need a protractor, Whitney. You're going to need a protractor.
So I was doing some astrology, and it says in the stars that the best way is to lean Western, and then you avoid the God of War.
Ooh, pretty weaponized. Checking in is Eric from Massachusetts with some disinformation.
Hey, David, it's Eric from Mass. Are you doing a live video on the State of the Union tonight? Because wouldn't it be something? Surprise! Donald Trump walks out, and he is your President of the United States in exile.
Hey, Eric, I would bet you. You want to bet on that? Let's bet who comes out and gives the State of the Union tonight. I would take even money. I'd even give you odds that it's not Trump who gives the State of the Union. You all know. Do you guys know I don't really bet? I'm not a betting man. That is a bet I would take. Nicole says, David, love the show. Side note, what do you know about your hoodie brand? I have no idea. What is this? Let's see. Dear God, I don't even know. It's called Brush Waffle. I have no idea. I can't even see behind me because my earpiece will come off. I have no idea where this is from. I'm sorry. I have no clue. Don't read my last super chat. Thank you. Okay, I don't even know where it is. Hi, Mom and David, sir, says Stephen Chapman. Thank you, Stephen. I very much appreciate you being here. Couple other super chats, see what people are thinking about the State of the Union and different things that are going on.
Mr. Pac-Man, sir, many people are saying how strongly the sweaters have been looking on you from the standpoint of sweater.
Thank you.
I would like to know the oranges of where they originated.
Oh, yeah, that's the same question that was just asked. A lot of people, I guess, very worried about my sweatshirt, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, we know Putin's nuts, and he's almost 70. But today, I was listening to Rachel Maddow and Clinton. I guess she was Secretary of State. Sorry that I don't remember. I think that's her, sure.
Okay. One more from Whitney.
So I figured out what astrology sign is like stuck in the middle, where it's like it can't like have a lean to avoid war. It's the Gemini.
Guys, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a very, very long night. Bay Photo says, sir, you really need to interview Graham Stephan for the show. I'd be interested. I do have 2 appearances to announce, and I hope that you guys will be supporting them with peace and love. I will be in Florida in 2 weeks, and I will be appearing on the Patrick Bet David show. Many people have told me we need a progressive on the Patrick Bet David podcast, and Patrick Bet David tweeted, I want a progressive on my show. And I said, I'll do it. And they said, yes. So I will be in Florida with Patrick Bet David. And then I will be in Florida. Understand, different part. I will be in Florida on Anthony Pompliano's Best Business Show. So one appearance in Florida, another in Florida, and it's going to be great. More information coming soon. David, from the standpoint of State of the Union streams, this is the best out there. Shout out to my bud Stephen and Gent, who became fans. Welcome to all of you. Thank you. That bet is easy money, David. Think we'll get a close-up of Trader's Mansion and Cinema tonight? Maybe a little jab in the speech? Maybe. We will see. Whitney needs help. Can you configure your voicemail to connect her to a mental hotline when she calls? Oh, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate. David, sir, your coffee budget is impressive. From the standpoint of cappuccino, how do you like yours? How do you feel about having cappuccino after 11 a.m.? Yeah, I think it's. I'm not big on this no cappuccino after 11 a.m. rule. I know that there's a lot of opinions about doing that. Yeah, but I don't really have a problem. I don't really have a problem with cappuccino in the afternoon. When will Rogan have Putin on his show? That's a fair question. I don't know. But listen, I would watch that. All right, folks, people are starting to file in to the chamber as we await the State of the Union address. Technically, many of you wrote to me and said, David, I remember you covering Biden's State of the Union last year. Why are they saying this is the first one? Traditionally, as we see Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer there, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy, Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley, someone with a mask. There's Joni Ernst, Iowa Senator. I'll do my best to call people out as I see them. Typically, when a president is inaugurated in January and then gives a speech in February or March, they don't call it a State of the Union. They just call it a joint address. That's the tradition. So that's what it is. There is Joe Manchin, a vile guy. Guys, I'm going to say something, and I hope please don't cancel me for this. I just want to float this idea. I saw Manchin and Mitt Romney there. If you say to me, either Manchin or Romney will be president, I don't know that I go with Manchin. I think maybe I go with Romney. I know Manchin's a Democrat and Romney's a Republican, but isn't Mitt Romney orders of magnitude brighter than Joe Manchin, and at least seems to have clear morality and how far he will go, even if I disagree with him about so many things? I don't know, guys. I think I go with Romney over Manchin. I really do. Oh, God, 20 Tool Cells just canceled their membership. Dear God. All right. Well, I don't take it back. Right. Romney at least stands for something I mostly don't like. But Manchin is, I just really don't like Manchin. I really don't like Manchin. All right. Very good. So we're going to keep an eye on all of this. I wish here we go. Here's a clean feed, as I like to call it. Beautiful. So there is Manchin and Willard Mitt Romney. Amy Klobuchar is right behind. As you can see, there she is, dressed in blue, very, very strongly, standing strongly. You'll notice that mostly no masks being worn. Washington, D.C. ended their indoor mask mandate, and most attendees, testing was required, most taking advantage of the no mask requirement. I enjoyed the coffee cost breakdown. Thanks for live streams. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate having you here. Appreciate you having you here very much. So okay, I'm going to do what we call a reset just because so much is going on and so many people have joined. Welcome to everybody watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. In just about 20 minutes, not even, Joe Biden will enter the House of Representatives and deliver his State of the Union address to a sort of joint session of the House and Senate, although it's not clear everybody's attending. Wow, Joe Manchin almost just fell down. Did you guys notice that? He almost just took a shitter there. That could have been really, I mean, the angle he was at, I think his head was going right into one of those seats and it could have completely upended the entire night. Joe Biden will speak at the top of the hour. And then the Republicans will give a response. Now, I heard Marjorie Taylor Greene was giving the response, but that can't possibly be, right? No. It's Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. Maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene is giving like some other response. Let me see. Marjorie Taylor Greene response, State of the Union. No, not even. I don't even know what she's doing. So there's Joe Manchin once again. You see the Vice President Kamala Harris on the left, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi on the right. That's the agenda for today. If you want to play Joe Biden bingo, this is equal opportunism, guys. The people mad at me for doing bingo with Biden, guys, you don't think I'm so partisan that I would only do bingo with Trump, do you? I hope you think better of me than that. DavidPakman.com/bingo. You can generate your own bingo card and we'll play along once the speech starts. It's just fun, guys. It's just fun. All right. DavidPakman.com/bingo. There's General Mark Milley, who was attacked as being a woke general because he said, hey, some people believe in critical race theory, so the military should at least know what it is. Wow. What a controversial statement, you know? Who else do we have here? Here's Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham here, senator from South Carolina. Here's Mark Warner, Virginia senator. A lot of folks filing in. Dignitaries of all sorts. Not really. Number of different people. Super chats are pouring in. Why is it so easy, Richard asks, to sell the masses on anti-Semitism and Jewish conspiracies? Why is it the go-to? A lot of people, so a couple different reasons. Number one, oh, hey, here's our friend Congressman McGovern. He's a good guy. Saw him at a coffee shop recently. A lot of people don't know anything about Jews, so that makes them potentially a viable target. Number two, there are people who don't see Jews as off limit because they're like, oh, Jews do fine and they're white passing. And of course, it's like, okay, Ashkenazi Jews are mostly white passing, not Mizrahim and Sephardim. And so that's another reason that it's sort of like it's a minority group, but it's one that's supposedly privileged by certain definitions. So that makes it a popular target as well. And, you know, at a certain point, there's kind of like the if you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Here's our friend, Congressman Eric Swalwell, friend of the show, follower of the David Pakman show. Very good guy. Sir, your voicemails would be perfect for a talking filibuster. I know. We could just set Sydney up and just say, go.
So what I love about this situation is that it shows the difference between like Donald Trump and his quote support, because I feel like people were like not that supportive of Donald Trump. They were like using his power to be like really.
Anyway, we could do one of two things, guys. I'm sorry, Whitney, not Sydney. I can do an hour of Biden speaking the State of the Union, or I can do an hour of Whitney voicemails. What would you guys prefer? What do people want? Willing to do either, as people want. Okay, this is the Ukrainian guest, and guys, I forget who it is. Remind me who this is. I forget who this guest is. It was a big deal. Does anybody remember? Let me look it up. Is that the Ukrainian ambassador? That's the Ukrainian ambassador. That's Oksana Markarova. Oksana Markarova. Here is Ted Cruz, one of the most vile and disgusting people on this in this country, I guess, at minimum. I don't know about planet. I believe this is Senator Blumenthal here. There's Willard Mitt Romney and Joe Manchin. They're really buddy-buddy, it seems. A lot going on. Lisa Murkowski or Kirsten Sinema as president? Oof. I still think Sinema. I mean, Sinema still, I think, mostly votes the right way. Whereas Murkowski, even though she would sometimes criticize Trump, still mostly voted with Trump. So I think on that one, I have to go with Sinema. I do think so. Other super chats coming in. David, sir, if Putin concedes the war with Ukraine, what do you think is the best case scenario for him and Russia? Probably 10 years of economic turmoil. I'm reading economic reports, that what is happening to Russia now could be 10 or 20 years of economic turmoil. Can you imagine? That is, wow. David, sir, You are the best.
Sir, your wife is up in the air.
Thank you. Okay, I think we got most of these super chats covered. I appreciate that. If you're just joining us, we're going to have some time together tonight as we have two speeches. We have Joe Biden's State of the Union, then we'll have the Republican response. We're also monitoring what is happening in Kyiv and other parts of Ukraine, because there was the expectation that quite literally as Joe Biden takes the stage, the bombing would ramp up, and you really hate to see it. And there's going to be a lot about Ukraine in tonight's speech, also expecting some kind of a claim of victory over COVID. Mike Pillow, not invited. I believe that the blue and yellow here and the other people wearing that bright blue, I believe it's an homage to the Ukrainian flag. I do believe that, and I really believe it strongly. Am I familiar with Myers-Briggs and Enneagram? Yes. I find it really boring. I do. It's almost like astrology to me. I find it really boring, but I know a lot of people are big on it. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I have skipped thanking a whole bunch of different people. Let me say thank you to, oh boy, there's some names here that are problematic. Chief Boris, Nick Lovin, Jiggy, Grimface, Millilil, Firewall, Sea Missile, Creeping Willow, The Dark Mock Rises, My Bag of Kiwis, Crazy Turts. That's 11 Twitch Prime subscribers. And I'm going to take this opportunity to make my one. Oh, here's Ruben Gallego, who's been a guest on the program. A lot of friends of the show in the audience, guys. I'm going to take this opportunity to make one request of you guys. For all that is good and reasonable, I invite you to get a membership on my website, joinpacman.com. Although many of you are here very strongly supporting us, there is an entire contingent that is trying to destroy us and are canceling their memberships. One such person is this tool cell. The Toolsies are very, very mad. Robert wrote to me and said, I have unsubscribed from your show because you revealed you're our tribal. You look for labels. You follow the liberal official narrative. And Robert writes, Toolsy Gabbard speaks to citizens of all labels. This is a tool cell. I say, go away. I'm fine losing the Toolsy people because I believe that we can get the folks back. So I invite you. Okay, they're doing their preliminaries. Joinpacman.com. The coupon code is Please Don't War. It's an anti-war message. And as an extra incentive, see how we're at 49 new members today? Whoever's number 50, I will send you a free item from my online store to anywhere in the world. Coffee mug, hat, hoodie, shirt, whatever you want. Whoever is next, okay? Joinpacman.com. We're at 49. If you're 50, you get the free item, and that's even if you use the discount code Please Don't War. Every single one of you will get a thank you. Let's listen.
The gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Hoyer. The gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Clyburn. The gentleman from Massachusetts, the gentlewoman from Massachusetts, Ms. Clark. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from New York.
All right, these preliminaries are actually quite irrelevant and pretty boring. So we're going to we're going to stand by at this point in time. I'm not so sure we need that necessarily. Sir, from the standpoint of tiny hands, do you believe that Mein Führer Trump really will run again? I am strongly fearing if he does. I think Trump's intention is to run again. I wonder whether his health will keep him from running. Everybody wondering about bingo. Yes, davidpacman.com/bingo for your Biden bingo card. Play along. davidpacman.com/bingo. Do you think destroying the Russian economy could backfire? Gives Putin someone to blame and may give rise to someone even worse. I don't think it'll give rise to someone even worse. But anytime you destroy a country's economy, there are, of course, risks. Of course. David, who does the right have anymore who are at least credible and honest? The only one I can think of is George Will, maybe Douglas Murray. I don't know about Douglas Murray. There aren't too many people. There aren't too many people. There really aren't. I mean, I guess I'd have to think of a list. Sir, did you see Ukrainian authorities tipped off about the plot by members of Russia's Federal Security Service who do not support the war? I did, and I'm going to cover that story tomorrow. Apparently, an assassination plot against Zelensky was foiled. And apparently, members of Russia's FSB were partially to thank for that. Incredible. Do you find yourself saying sir a lot in everyday life outside of the show? Never. Never.
Sir.
No, I really don't. I do, when my girlfriend asks me to do something, I will tell her sometimes that I'm going to look into that strongly.
Looking at that very strongly.
But I'm never using sir outside of the show. Please don't use profanity and cuss while streaming or I'll cancel my membership. Thanks. Yeah, dude, see that's just I that really pisses me off. That's just so stupid, okay? This is an adult show. Sometimes there's profanity. It's can't go ahead and cancel it. Is someone willing to replace this guy's membership? Is someone willing to replace this guy? Guys, you think because you pay $2 a month, you're going to take over my show and tell me now I can't, you're going to language police? Nobody's willing to replace him. Okay, that's too bad. Okay, please don't cancel. I thought someone was going to be willing to replace you, but I guess not. Okay. No, if they were trolling, then it's all a joke if they were trolling. New member number 50 today, getting a free item from my store, is Victor Munoz. Number 50. Victor, please email me info@davidpakman.com and I will get you your free item. Memberships are dumping in. Thank you to the following people. I can barely keep up, guys. I'm going to do everything I can. Creeping Willow, Dark Mock Rye. Oh, no, sorry. These people I thanked. Efkin Rect, Jen here, Ishpal Singh, Lord Zelig, Try-Eye Gamer, Xvine, Hoosier Daddy, Jen Jang, Robots, Tamps, Open Bar Funeral, Jen here, ODW, Sambitious, Jer Harkonnen, Skittle Stew, God Kong, Plasma Rifle with 2. That's putting us at 64. Guys, I'll give away another item to number 75. I can't even keep up with what's going on. We may already be there. Let's see here. Edward Helbling is a new member on my website. Luke Sevilla, Carlos Escamilla, Tyler Maxwell, Kyle Svengros is 69. Phoebe Porter and Jay Peterson. Jay Peterson of Seinfeld fame. Thank you. Aisha Mitchell puts us at 72. All right, 75's getting an item from me. Asa Asba, Gene Dunnett, and Ryan Contos is number 75. Ryan, if you would like a free item from my online store, email info@davidpakman.com. Guitar Goddess just gifted 5 memberships. Manger, Poutine, and Super Sicky, as well as Skittle Stew popping in. That puts us at 82. Man, what do you guys think? I'll next free item at 100. I quite literally can barely keep up with what's happening on my website. Let me see here. Let's see if we're already there. Mandy Copeland is number 83. Bob Loftus is number 84. Max Close is 85. Cammie Swan is new member number 86. The website might not be able to hold it, Captain. Jesse Knight is number 87. Shufen Vong is number 88. Matt Chavez is 89. Ryan Hamburg is number 90. Taylor Wolf is number 91 using the coupon code Obamna. William Bellamy is number 92. Jason Knight is 93. Antonio Della Pena, 94. Mindy Thompson is number 95. All right. Number 100. Let's see. Here we go. John Davis is number 96. Gabriel Arnijo is number 97. Jennifer Hudson is number 98. Sean Nixon is number 99 as the Supreme Court, one of the most weaponized conservative Supreme Courts in the last many decades, is entering the chamber. Number 100 today is Mitchell Slagowski. Mitchell, you've got yourself a free item. You can email info@davidpakman.com if you would like to collect it. Phased Plasma Rifle, Sterling Skitchen has given away 5. Also, thanks to Final Heaven. Oh, and Phased Plasma giving away another 5. I think that's 112. Dear God, I don't know that I can even keep up with this stuff. Jalen Tucker is new member 113. Scott Genn is number 114. Let's do a free item at 123. Thanks to William Townsend. I mean, these are coming in faster than I can say people's names. Simon Freed. Edgar Santana puts us at 117. Thanks to Craig Lawrence and Brandon Welch, 119. All right, let's join the State of the Union here. Here is Dr. Jill Biden. Many Republicans quick to recognize that she is not a medical doctor. Doesn't really tell you much. Dr. Mehmet Oz is a medical doctor, and he recommended drinking silver. So apparently the MD alone doesn't really make you competent. Thanks to Progressly Stoned and Phased Plasma Rifle, putting us at 121. Super chats continuing to come in. The shirt you're wearing slaps harder than the Beatles dog. Yeah, 3 comments on my hoodie. If it gets bad, I might even put the hood on. That's not a bad look. Oh God, cables everywhere. Let's see what else we got here.
Madam Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
Cabinet is coming in. Tara Dunn is new member in 122. Andrew Kaiser is 123. Bill McKibben. Could it be that Bill McKibben? Bill McKibben is number 124. Wow. Very, very strongly. Here's Anthony Blinken and Lloyd Austin. Everybody come on in. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I see people coming in and saying, am I welcome here? Everybody's welcome. Just don't troll. Wow. Thing's actually not very comfortable. Big thank you to Keely Valero, as well as Christine Parker and Alex Pingree. If people are wondering what's going on, the Toolsy people are weaponizing their memberships and canceling. Here's Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. So we have a coupon code, Please Don't War, and I sort of politely asked people to maybe get a membership on my website, and over 100 people have done it, and the website can barely even keep up. Couple masks still in there. Thanks to David P. for the membership, and Term 3 at 129. Thanks to Deb Tudor, Nikki Dell, Morgan Moynihan, Omar Diaz, and Nelson Camacho for the memberships. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Such great people we have in our audience today. Really amazing. Very, very much so. Joe Biden expected any moment. We will be here for the State of the Union, and then we will have the Republican response. There is Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, speaking to Anthony Blinken. Welcome, Julie Elizabeth and Kat's wife with the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Very much appreciate you guys as well. Twitch has been amazing lately. We're so glad to be on the platform. Some other super chats coming in. Blow up Kavanaugh's car. Unfortunately, we cannot allow that. I do have to remove that. We do not advocate violence. We cannot do it. We could get into serious trouble. Brett Kavanaugh is a disgusting human being. We can say that. Brett Kavanaugh is horrifying. He is everything we should aspire never to be. But we're not going to say blow up his car. We're not going to do that, okay? We do have... There's only certain things we can call for here.
And we will ban men.
That's out of bounds, too. We're not going to do any of it. David, you always speak so deliberately or only when you broadcast? Love your show. It would be an honor if you read this. I don't know about the answer to that. I'm not sure. I always want to be understood. What it really is, you know, I'm from Argentina, as some of you know. And growing up, okay, so there's some people getting a little edgy in the chat. Growing up, I was around a lot of people who the language I was speaking to them in was their second language. And so I just developed the habit of trying to speak as clearly as possible to be understood. Over under Republicans start a Let's Go Brandon chant. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But we do have bingo. If you want something fun to do during the speech, go to davidpakman.com/bingo and you can generate your own bingo card with the items I put together. Here's Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz. Susan Collins from Maine, as you can see. This is Brett Kavanaugh. And I think, is this Amy COVID Barrett right here? I think that's who that is. I will try to call squares as we go. Yeah. Thank you to Aaron Obamna for the new membership. Jose Rodriguez has just signed up on my website. Laura Singer and Peter Zinurko, all new members, putting us at 140. Also, thank you to Haley Vox, Xanox the Ark for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get a Twitch Prime subscription for free. You're basically just taking $5 from Jeff Bezos. I wouldn't leave the money with Bezos. I would take it. Sir David, please tell my girlfriend Michelle hello. Hey, Michelle, great to have you here. Feels like the QGP response is as bad as the trolls in chat lately. We have been overrun with trolls. We are banning people all the time. And it's like playing whack-a-mole. It really is. It's horrifying what's going on with the trolls. Welcome to TGS74 over on Twitch. Very much appreciate that. Super chats, yeah, we'll keep super chats up during the entire speech. Why not? Brian Tyler Cohen sent in an email and he got an interview with Biden. Interesting. I should send an email. I wish I knew to who. Sabathia says Obama. James says 5. Okay. General Mark Milley. We are moments from the speech. The speech expected to go, I think, about 70 minutes is my instinct. But we will see. We will see. Welcome to Hedgehog, Crudler, and Shield and Evil, who just grabbed Twitch Prime subscriptions. Appreciate you guys very much. Also, welcome to Dalbert Leal, new member number 147 today. Nancy Pelosi, as the Speaker of the House, will welcome Joe Biden momentarily, and he will enter the chamber. He will certainly speak about the situation in Ukraine and Russia, expected to sort of declare victory over COVID. He will likely address inflation. He is going to propose at least one new policy initiative from what I've read. Shot X Thomas is new member number 148 today. Free item at 150. Yeah, let's do it. Well, Blake Beyond is new member 149 today. Let's do it, guys. See how we're at 150 here? New member, we're almost at 150. Whoever is new member 150 on my website gets a free item from my online store.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
There's the House of Representatives Sergeant at Arms announcing President Joe Biden, who will give what is officially his first State of the Union address, his second address before a joint session of Congress I believe it was last March. He did speak, but it is not called the State of the Union that first time around. Not called the State of the Union. Can we throw a banana peel in front of Kavanaugh? Maybe that's okay. Do you think Putin would consider it an act of aggression to send him uncharged pickles? Probably, yeah.
Uncharged pickles?
Sorry to hear about the trolls, David. Appreciate your coverage. Been a member for a while. Thank you, Ryan. I have to tell you, the applause is a bit more scant than typically during this portion of the walk-in. It's tepid. Exactly. It's tepid. Did he even say a word to Amy Covid-Barrett? It didn't look like it there. Elena Kagan, General Mark Milley. Everybody's standing very strongly. Okay, real quick. Member 150's Benjamin Woods, email me for your free item, but we're right in the heart of it now.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
A lot of this stuff is very perfunctory. At this point, everybody claps. But if you've never seen one of these before, later there will be very partisan moments where only Democrats will clap. But here, the etiquette is that everybody claps. And that is what everybody's doing, even Ted Cruz. It's quite literally a please clap moment.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Please. Thank you so much. Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, members of Congress and the Cabinet, Justice of the Supreme Court, my fellow Americans. Last year, COVID-19 kept us apart. This year, we're finally together again. Tonight, we meet as Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, but most importantly, as Americans, with the duty to one another, to America, to the American people, to the Constitution, and an unwavering resolve that freedom will always triumph over tyranny. Thank you. 6 days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways. But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people. From President Zelensky to every Ukrainian, their fearlessness, their courage, their determination literally inspires the world. Groups of citizens blocking tanks with their bodies, everyone from students to retirees to teachers, turned soldiers defending their homeland. And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, "Light will win over darkness." The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's bright, she's strong, and she's resolved.
It does seem Republicans have decided it's probably better to support Ukraine, at least from a PR perspective.
Stand with the Ukrainian people. Throughout our history, we've learned this lesson. When dictators do not pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos. They keep moving, and the cost, the threats to America and America to the world keeps rising. That's why the NATO alliance was created, to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II. The United States is a member, along with 29 other nations. It matters. American diplomacy matters. American resolve matters. Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated efforts at diplomacy. He thought the West and NATO wouldn't respond. He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We prepared extensively and carefully. We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe and the Americas, from America to the Asian and African continents, to confront Putin. Like many of you, I spent countless hours unifying our European allies. We shared with the world in advance what we knew Putin was planning and precisely how we would try to falsify and justify his aggression. We countered Russia's lies with the truth. And now that he's acted, the free world is holding him accountable, along with 27 members of the European Union, including France, Germany, Italy, as well as countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and many others. Even Switzerland are inflicting pain on Russia and supporting the people of Ukraine. Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been. Together,
all true, but literally as this is happening, the bombing continues, and something's going to have to give.
together, along with our allies, we are right now enforcing powerful economic sanctions. We're cutting off Russia's largest banks in the international financial system, preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble, making Putin's $630 billion war fund worthless. We're choking Russia's access. We're choking Russia's access to technology that will sap its economic strength and weaken its military for years to come. Tonight, I say to the Russian oligarchs and the corrupt leaders who bilked billions of dollars off this violent regime, no more. The United States, I mean it. The United States Department of Justice is assembling a dedicated task force to go after the crimes of the Russian oligarchs. We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating and adding additional squeeze on their economy.
Major step. Americans in Russia that want to get home are going to have trouble.
He has no idea what's coming. The ruble has already lost 30% of its value. The Russian stock market has lost 40% of its value, and trading remains suspended. The Russian economy is reeling, and Putin alone is the one to blame. Together with our allies, we're providing support to the Ukrainians in their fight for freedom. Military assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine, and will continue to aid the Ukrainian people as they defend their country and help ease their suffering. But let me be clear. Our forces are not engaged and will not engage in the conflict with Russian forces in Ukraine. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. For that purpose, we have mobilized American ground forces, air squadrons, ship deployments to protect NATO countries including Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. And as I've made crystal clear, the United States and our allies will defend every inch of territory that is NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. Every single inch.
Even degenerate Steve Scalise cheering for that.
And we're clear-eyed. The Ukrainians are fighting back with pure courage. But the next few days, weeks, and months will be hard on them. Putin has unleashed violence and chaos. But while he may make gains on the battlefield, he'll pay a continuing high price over the long run. And a pound of Ukrainian people, the proud, proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they have.
A pound of Ukrainians is not that many people, but
have repeatedly shown that they will not tolerate anyone who tries to take their country backwards. To all Americans, I'll be honest with you, as I always promised I would be. A Russian dictator invading a foreign country has cost around the world. And I'm taking robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy and that we use every tool at our disposal to protect American businesses and consumers. Tonight, I can announce the United States has worked with 30 other countries to release 60 million barrels of oil from reserves around the world. America will lead that effort, releasing 30 million barrels of our own strategic petroleum reserve. And we stand ready to do more if necessary, united with our allies. These steps will help blunt gas prices here at home, but I know news about what's happening can seem alarming to all Americans. But I want you to know, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. When the history of this era is written, Putin's war in Ukraine will have left Russia weaker and the rest of the world stronger. While it shouldn't have taken something so terrible for people around the world to see what's at stake, now everyone sees it clearly. We see the unity among leaders of nations, a more unified Europe, a more unified West. We see unity among the people who are gathering in cities and large crowds around the world, even in Russia, to demonstrate their support for the people of Ukraine. In the battle between democracy and autocracies, democracies are rising to the moment, and the world is clearly choosing the side of peace and security. This is the real test, and it's going to take time. So let us continue to draw inspiration from the iron will of the Ukrainian people. To our fellow Ukrainian Americans who forged the deep bond that connects our two nations, we stand with you. We stand with you. Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish their love of freedom, and he will never weaken the resolve of the free world.
There's our friend Eric Swalwell.
We meet tonight in an America that has lived through two of the hardest years this nation has ever faced. The pandemic has been punishing, and so many families are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to keep up with the rising cost of food, gas, housing, and so much more. I understand, like many of you did. My dad had to leave his home in Scranton, Pennsylvania to find work. So like many of you, I grew up in a family when the price of food went up, it was felt throughout the family. It had an impact. That's when one of the first things I did as president was fight to pass the American Rescue Plan. Because people were hurting, we needed to act, and we did. Few pieces of legislation have done more at a critical moment in our history to lift us out of a crisis. It fueled our efforts to vaccinate the nation and combat COVID-19.
Does this count as a dad story? I'm not sure.
Americans. It helped put food on the table. Remember those long lines of cars waiting for hours just to get a box of food put in their trunk?
Fair.
It cut the cost of health care insurance. And as my dad used to say, it gave the people just a little bit of breathing room.
There it is.
Unlike the $2 trillion tax cut passed in the previous administration that benefited the top 1% of Americans, the American Rescue Plan.
Oh.
The American Rescue Plan.
Oh my God, Chuck Schumer.
No one behind.
Chuck Schumer setting the record for cringe. Oh my God.
And it worked.
Guys, I've got chicken skin from that.
It worked. We created jobs, lots of jobs. In fact, our economy created over 6.5 million new jobs just last year. More jobs in 1 year than ever before in the history of the United States of America. The economy grew at a rate of 5.7 last year.
Republicans don't like it.
In 40 years. And the first step in bringing fundamental change to our economy that hasn't worked for working people in this nation for too long. For the past 40 years, we were told that tax break for those at the top and benefits would trickle down and everyone would benefit. But that trickle-down theory led to a weaker economic growth, lower wages, bigger deficits, and a widening gap between the top and everyone else in nearly a century. Look, Vice President Harris and I ran for office, and I realize we have fundamental disagreements on this, but ran for office with a new economic vision for America. Invest in America, educate Americans, grow the workforce, build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top down, because we know when the middle class grows, the poor will way up and the wealthy do very well. America used to have the best roads, bridges, and airports on earth. And now our infrastructure is ranked 13th in the world. We won't be able to compete for the jobs of the 21st century if we don't fix it. That's why it was so important.
Guys, sorry to interrupt. This is cracking me up. My husband is playing a drinking game with the bingo card. He's going to be plastered by the end of this.
To invest and rebuild America, the single biggest investment in history. It was a bipartisan effort, and I want to thank the members of both parties who worked to make it happen. We're done talking about infrastructure weeks. We're now talking about an infrastructure decade. And look,
Republicans don't want the infrastructure.
it's going to transform America to put us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with the rest of the world, particularly China. I've told Xi Jinping it's never been a good bet to bet against the American people. We'll create good jobs for millions of Americans, modernizing roads, airports, ports, waterways, all across America.
This guy's gross.
And we'll do it to withstand the devastating effects of climate change and promote environmental justice. We'll build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations.
Nice.
Begin to replace the poisonous lead pipes so every child, every American has clean water to drink at home and at school. We're going to provide affordable, high-speed internet for every American, rural, suburban, urban, and tribal communities. 4,000 projects have already been announced. Many of you have announced them in your districts. And tonight, I'm announcing that this year, we will start fixing over 65,000 miles of highway and 1,500 bridges in disrepair.
Much needed. Imagine not cheering for fixing bridges after we just had a collapse.
America. We're going to do it by buying America. Buy American products. Support American jobs. The federal government spends about $600 billion a year to keep this country safe and secure. There's been a law on the books for almost a century to make sure taxpayers' dollars support American jobs and businesses. Every administration, Democrat and Republican, says they'll do it, but we're actually doing it. We'll buy America to make sure everything from the deck of an aircraft carrier to the steel on highway guardrails is made in America from beginning to end. All of it. All of it.
It's going to cost money. Our economy's based on getting cheaper stuff from China.
To compete for the jobs of the future, we also need a level playing field with China and other competitors. That's why it's so important to pass the Bipartisan Innovation Act sitting in Congress that will make record investments in emerging technologies and American manufacturing. We used to invest almost 2% of our GDP in research and development. We don't now. China is. Let me give you one example why it's so important to pass. If you travel 20 miles east of Columbus, Ohio, you'll find 1,000 empty acres of land. It won't look like much, but if you stop and look closely, you'll see a field of dreams, the ground on which America's future will be built. That's where Intel, the American company that helped build Silicon Valley, is going to build a $20 billion semiconductor megasite, up to 8 state-of-the-art factories in one place, 10,000 new jobs. And in those factories, the average job about $135,000 a year. Some of the most sophisticated manufacturing in the world to make computer chips the size of a fingertip, that power the world in everyday lives, from smartphones, technology, the internet, technology that's yet to be invented. But that's just the beginning. Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger, who is here tonight, I don't know where Pat is. Pat, there you go, Pat, stand up.
I don't know, the CEO of Intel, he didn't create microchips. I mean, I don't know, CEO of Intel, this much applause.
Pat came to see me and he told me they're ready to increase their investment from $20 billion to $100 billion. That would be the biggest investment in manufacturing in American history. And all they're waiting for is for you to pass this bill. So let's not wait any longer. Send it to my desk, I'll sign it, and we'll really take off in a big way.
Right.
And folks, Intel is not alone.
Kevin McCarthy on his phone. I guess he can't be bothered.
America. Just look around and you'll see an amazing story. The rebirth of pride that comes from stamping products made in America. The revitalization of American manufacturing. Companies are choosing to build new factories here when just a few years ago they would have gone overseas. That's what's happening. Ford is investing $11 billion in electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. GM is making the largest investment in its history, $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan.
Right.
All told, 369,000 new manufacturing jobs were created in America last year alone. Folks,
oh, man.
Powered by people I've met like JoJo Burgess from generations of union steelworkers in Pittsburgh, who's here with us tonight. Where are you, JoJo? There you go. Thanks, buddy. As Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown says,
This kid is the star. Man, I love this kid.
Brown says it's time to bury
the handshake.
Rust Belt. It's time to see the what used to be called the Rust Belt become the home of a significant resurgence of manufacturing. And with all the bright spots in our economy, record job growth, higher wages, too many families are struggling to keep up with their bills.
True.
Inflation is robbing them of gains they thought otherwise they would be able to feel. I get it. That's why my top priority is getting prices under control. Look, our economy roared back faster than almost anyone predicted, but the pandemic meant that businesses had a hard time hiring enough people because of the pandemic to keep up production in their factories. So you didn't have people making those beams that went into buildings because they were out. The factory was closed. The panic also disrupted the global supply chain. Factories close. When that happens, it takes longer to make goods and get them to the warehouses, to the stores, and prices go up. Look at cars last year.
Right.
1/3 of all the inflation was because of automobile sales. There weren't enough semiconductors to make all the cars that people wanted to buy. And guess what? Prices of automobiles went way up, especially used vehicles as well. And so we have a choice. One way to fight inflation is to drive down wages and make Americans poorer. I think I have a better idea to fight inflation. Lower your costs, not your wages.
Wow.
Folks, that means make more cars and semiconductors in America, more infrastructure and innovation in America, more goods moving faster and cheaper in America, more jobs where you can earn a good living in America. Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America. Look, economists,
I mean, listen, guys, everybody loves the make it in America stuff, but our entire economy is based on not making it here because it's expensive.
increasing the productive capacity of our economy. I call it building a better America. My plan to fight inflation will lower your costs and lower the deficit. 17 Nobel laureates in economics said my plan will ease long-term inflationary pressures. Top business leaders, and I believe most Americans support the plan. And here's the plan. First, cut the cost of prescription drugs. We pay more for the same drug produced.
Republicans sitting. They don't want to cut. Maybe they want to increase the cost.
World. Just look at insulin. 1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. In Virginia, I met a 13-year-old boy, the handsome young man standing up there.
Oh, no.
Joshua Davis. He and his dad both have type 1 diabetes, which means they need insulin every single day. Insulin costs about $10 a vial to make.
Let him explain why the kid's there first.
The pharmaceutical company. But drug companies charge families like Joshua and his dad up to 30 times that amount. I spoke with Joshua's mom. Imagine what it's like to look at your child who needs insulin to stay healthy and have no idea how in God's name you're going to be able to pay for it. What it does to your family, but what it does to your dignity, your ability to look your child in the eye, to be the parent you expect yourself to be. I really mean to think about that. That's what I think about. You know, yesterday, Joshua's here tonight, but yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, buddy, by the way. For Joshua and 200,000 other young people with type 1 diabetes, let's cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month so everyone can afford it. And drug companies will do very, very well, their profit margin. While we're at it, I know we have great disagreements on this floor with this. Let's let Medicare negotiate the price of prescription drugs. They already set the price for VA drugs. Look, the American Rescue Plan is helping millions of families with Affordable Care Act plans to save them $2,400 a year on their health premiums. Let's close the coverage gap and make these savings permanent. And second, let's cut energy costs for families. an average of $500 a year by combating climate change. Let's provide an investment tax credits to weatherize your home and your business, to be energy efficient and get a tax credit for it. Double America's clean energy production in solar, wind, and so much more. Lower the price of electric vehicles, saving another $80 a month that you're not going to have to pay at the pump. Folks,
Right.
The third thing we can do to change the standard of living for hardworking folks is cut the cost of child care. Cut the cost of child care. Folks, if you live in a major city in America, you pay up to $14,000 a year for child care per child. I was a single dad for 5 years, raising 2 kids. I had a lot of help, though. I had a mom, a dad, a brother, and a sister that really helped. But middle class and working folks shouldn't have to pay more than 7% of their income to care for the young children. My plan would cut the cost of child care in half for most families and help parents, including millions of women who left the workforce during the pandemic because they couldn't afford child care, to be able to get back to work, generating economic growth. But my plan doesn't stop there. It also includes home and long-term care, more affordable housing, pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. All these will lower costs to families. And under my plan, nobody, let me say this again, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny.
Wow. So it seems like he's sort of revitalizing the idea of doing tax reform, which is going to be very tough.
I may be wrong, but my guess is if we took a secret ballot in this floor, that we'd all agree that the present tax system ain't fair. We have to fix it. I'm not looking to punish anybody, but let's make corporations and wealthy Americans start paying their fair share. Look, last year, and like Chris Coons and Tom Carper and my distinguished Congresswoman, we come from the land of corporate America. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every other state in America combined.
What?
I still won 36 years in a row. The point is, even they understand they should pay just a fair share. Last year, 55 of the Fortune 500 companies earned $40 billion in profit and paid zero in federal.
Did he mean in Delaware?
Now look, it's not fair. That's why I proposed a 15% minimum tax rate for corporations. And that's why in the G7 and other meetings overseas, we're able to put together, I was able to be somewhat helpful, 130 countries to agree on a global minimum tax rate. So companies can't get out of paying their taxes at home by shipping jobs and factories overseas. It'll raise billions of dollars. That's why I propose closing loopholes for the very wealthy who pay a lower tax rate than a teacher and a firefighter. So that's my plan, but we'll go in more detail later. We will grow the economy, lower the cost of families. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this done. We all know we've got to make changes. Folks, and while you're at it, confirm my nominees for the Federal Reserve, which plays a critical role in fighting inflation. My plan will not only lower costs and give families a fair shot, it will lower the deficit. The previous administration not only ballooned the deficit with those tax cuts for the very wealthy and corporations, it undermined the watchdogs, the job of those to keep pandemic relief funds being wasted. Remember we had those debates about whether or not those watchdogs should be able to see every day how much money was being spent, where was it going to the right place?
We did.
But in my administration, the watchdogs are back. And we're going to go after the criminals who stole billions of relief money meant for small business and millions of Americans. Tonight, I'm announcing that the Justice Department will soon name a chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Look.
They're going to go after the PPP fraud very strongly.
I think we all agree. Thank you.
My accountant said, good thing you didn't take that money, David.
And half of what it was before I took office. The only president ever to cut the deficit by more than $1 trillion in a single year. Lowering your cost also meant demanding more competition. I'm a capitalist, but capitalism without competition is not capitalism. Capitalism without competition is exploitation. It drives up profits. Not a joke. And corporations have to compete. Their profits go up and your prices go up when they don't have to compete. Small businesses and family farmers and ranchers, I need not tell some of my Republican friends from those states. Guess what? You got 4 basic meat packing facilities. That's it. You play with them or you don't get to play at all. And you pay a hell of a lot more.
Right.
A hell of a lot more because there's only 4. See what's happening with ocean carriers moving goods in and out of America. During the pandemic, about half a dozen or less foreign-owned companies raised prices by as much as 1,000% and made record profits. Tonight, I'm announcing a crackdown on those companies overcharging American businesses and consumers.
Uh-oh.
Folks.
Well, you got to explain that. What does that mean? Is that price controls? What is that?
And as Wall Street firms take over more nursing homes, quality in those homes has gone down.
I think we need a little more detail on that, don't we?
That ends on my watch. Medicare is going to set higher standards for nursing homes and make sure your loved ones get the care they deserve and that they inspect and they will look at closely. We're also going to cut costs to keep the economy going strong and giving workers a fair shot, provide more training and apprenticeships, hire them based on skills, not just their degrees. Let's pass the Paycheck Fairness Act and paid leave. Raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour and extend the child tax credit so no one has to raise a family in poverty.
Wow.
Let's increase Pell Grants, increase our historic support for HBCUs, and invest.
Susan Collins is really disappointed with this.
Full-time calls America's best kept secret, community colleges. Look, let's pass the PRO Act. When a majority of workers want to form a union, they shouldn't be able to be stopped. When we invest in our workers and we build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out together, we can do something we haven't done in a long time. Build a better America. For more than 2 years, COVID has impacted every decision in our lives and the life of this nation. And I know you're tired, frustrated, and exhausted. That doesn't even count the close to 1 million people who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and look at an empty chair because they lost somebody. But I also know this, because of the progress we've made, because of your resilience and the tools that we have been provided by this Congress, tonight I can say we're moving forward safely back to more normal routines. We've reached a new moment in the fight against COVID-19, where severe cases are down to a level not seen since July of last year. Just a few days ago, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention issued a new mask guidelines. Under the new guidelines, most Americans and most of the country can now go mask-free. And based on projections, more of the country will reach that point across the next couple of weeks.
What a vile woman.
Thanks to the progress we've made in the past year, COVID-19 no longer need control our lives. I know some are talking about living with COVID-19, but tonight I say that we never will just accept living with COVID-19. We'll continue to combat the virus as we do other diseases. And because this virus mutates and spreads, we have to stay on guard. And here are 4 common sense steps as we move forward safely, in my view.
Here we go.
First, stay protected with vaccines and treatments. We know how incredibly effective vaccines are. If you're vaccinated and boosted, you have the highest degree of protection. And we'll never give up on vaccinating more Americans. Now, I know parents with kids under 5 are eager to see their vaccines authorized for their children. Scientists are working hard to get that done. We'll be ready with plenty of vaccines if and when they do. We're all ready. We are also ready with antiviral treatments. If you get COVID-19, the Pfizer pill reduces your chances of ending up in the hospital by 90%. I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world has. Pfizer is working overtime to get us 1 million pills this month and more than double that next month. And now we're launching the Test to Treat initiative. So people can get tested at a pharmacy, and if they prove positive, receive the antiviral pills on the spot at no cost.
Good idea.
And folks,
that's big time. There's Jerry Nadler, congressman.
If you're immunocompromised or have some other vulnerability, we have treatments and free high-quality masks. We're leaving no one behind or ignoring anyone's needs as we move forward. On testing, we've made hundreds of millions of tests available, and you can order them for free to your doorstep. And we've already ordered free tests. If you already ordered free tests tonight, I'm announcing you can order another group of tests. Go to covidtest.gov.
Oh, I'm going to get some more.
Next week, and you can get more tests.
Yeah, I'll get a few more.
Second, we must prepare for new variants.
Oof.
Over the past, we've gotten much better at detecting new variants. If necessary, we'll be able to develop new vaccines within 100 days instead of maybe months or years. And if Congress provides the funds we need, we'll have new stockpiles of tests, masks, pills ready if needed. I can't promise a new variant won't come, but I can promise you we'll do everything within our power to be ready if it does. Third, we can end the shutdown of schools and businesses. We have the tools we need. It's time for America to get back to work and fill our great downtowns again with people. People working from home can feel safe and begin to return to their offices.
Wow.
We're doing that here in the federal government. The vast majority of federal workers will once again work in person. Our schools are open. Let's keep it that way. Our kids need to be in school. With 75% of adult Americans fully vaccinated and hospitalizations down by 77%, most Americans can remove their masks and stay in the classroom and move forward safely. We achieved this because we provided free vaccines, treatments, tests, and masks. Of course, continuing this costs money, so I'll not surprise you. I'll be back to see you all. And I'm going to soon send a request to Congress. The vast majority of Americans have used these tools and may want again. We may need them again, so I expect Congress, and I hope you'll pass that quickly. Fourth, we'll continue vaccinating the world. We've sent 475 million vaccine doses to 112 countries, more than any nation on earth. We won't stop because you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases. You know, we've lost so much in COVID-19. Time with one another. The worst of all, the loss of life. Let's use this moment to reset. So stop looking at COVID as a partisan dividing line. See it for what it is, a god-awful disease. Let's stop seeing each other as enemies and start seeing each other for who we are, fellow Americans. Look. We can't change how divided we've been. It was a long time in coming. But we can change how to move forward on COVID-19 and other issues that we must face together. I recently visited New York City Police Department days after the funerals of Officer Wilbur Mora and his partner, Officer Jason Rivera. They were responding to a 9/11 call when a man shot and killed them with a stolen gun. Officer Mora was 27 years old. Officer Rivera was 22 years old. Both Dominican Americans who grew up in the same streets that they later chose to patrol as police officers. I spoke with their families, and I told them that we were forever in debt for their sacrifices and will carry on their mission to restore the trust and safety of every community deserves. Like some of you that have been around for a while, I've worked with you on these issues for a long time. I know what works: investigating crime prevention and community policing, cops who walk the beat, who know the neighborhood, and who can restore trust and safety. Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. Let's come together and protect our communities, restore trust, and hold law enforcement accountable. That's why the Justice Department has required body cameras, banned chokeholds, and restricted no-knock warrants for its officers. That's why the American Rescue Plan that you all provided $350 billion that cities, states, and counties can use to hire more police, invest in more proven strategies. Proven strategies like community violence interruption, trusted messengers, breaking the cycle of violence and trauma, and giving young people some hope. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them.
Wow. Now, Republicans sort of sarcastically cheering, but remember, almost no one is actually trying to defund the police who's in power. You got some municipality stuff saying social workers, okay. It's kind of a ruse.
Protect our communities. I ask Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe. And we'll do everything in my power to crack down on gun trafficking, of ghost guns that you can buy online, assemble at home, no serial numbers, can't be traced. I ask Congress to pass proven measures to reduce gun violence. Pass universal background checks. Why should anyone
They're not going to do it.
on the terrorist list be able to purchase a weapon? Why? Why?
They don't want to do universal background checks. The Republicans don't.
Ban assault weapons with high-capacity magazines that hold up to 100 rounds. You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests? Look, repeal the liability shield that makes gun manufacturers the only industry in America that can't be sued.
Yep.
The only one.
That's a must.
Imagine had we done that with the tobacco manufacturers. These laws don't infringe on the Second Amendment. They save lives.
It's bro-bear.
The fundamental right in America is the right to vote and have it counted. And look, it's under assault. In state after state, new laws have been passed. Not only to suppress the vote, we've been there before, but to subvert the entire election. We can't let this happen. Tonight I call on the Senate to pass the Freedom to Vote Act, pass the John Lewis Act, Voting Rights Act. And while you're at it, pass the Disclose Act so Americans know who's funding our elections.
The Republicans don't want people to vote. That's how they win, by people not voting.
I'd like to honor someone who dedicated his life to serve this country. Justice Breyer, an Army veteran, constitutional scholar, retiring Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Justice Breyer, thank you for your service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. Get up.
Wow.
Let them see you. Thank you.
Breyer's a character, isn't he, guys?
No matter what your ideology, we all know one of the most serious constitutional responsibility a president has is nominating someone to serve on the United States Supreme Court. As I did 4 days ago,
right,
I've nominated the Circuit Court of Appeals, Ketanji Brown Jackson, one of our nation's top legal minds, who continue in Justice Breyer's legacy of excellence. A former top litigator in private practice, a former federal public defender, from a family of public school educators and police officers. She's a consensus builder. Since she's been nominated, she's received a broad range of support, including the Fraternal Order of Police and former judges supported by Democrats and Republicans. Folks, if we're to advance liberty and justice, we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system.
He's hitting a lot of important topics, but the transitions are very abrupt. Very, very abrupt.
And as you might guess, I think we can do both. At our border, we've installed new technology like cutting-edge scanners to better detect drug smuggling. We've set up joint patrols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch more human traffickers. We're putting in place dedicated immigration judges, a significant larger number, so families fleeing persecution and violence can have their cases.
I'm guessing on Twitter we'll be able to see who yelled "Build the wall."
We're screening, we're securing commitments and supporting partners in South and Central America to host more refugees and secure their own borders. We can do all this while keeping lit the torch of liberty that has led a generation of immigrants to this land, my forebears and many of yours. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those with temporary status.
That's a must.
Workers, essential workers. Revise our laws so businesses have workers they need and families don't wait decades to reunite. It's not only the right thing to do, it's economically smart thing to do. That's why the immigration reform is supported by everyone from labor unions to religious leaders to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Let's get it done once and for all. Folks, advancing liberty and justice also requires protecting the rights of women. The constitutional right affirmed by Roe v. Wade, standing precedent for half a century, is under attack as never before. If you want to go forward, not backwards, we must protect access to health care. Preserve a woman's right to choose.
Hey guys, for people talking about Collins shaking her head, I'm pretty sure she has a condition, some Parkinsonian type of thing. I don't think she's shaking her head no.
For our LGBTQ plus Americans, let's finally get the Bipartisan Equality Act to my desk. The onslaught of state laws targeting transgender Americans and their families, it's simply wrong. I said last year, especially to our younger transgender Americans, I'll always have your back as your president so you can be yourself and reach your God-given potential. Folks, as I've just demonstrated, while it often appears we do not agree, and that we do agree on a lot more things than we acknowledge. I signed 80 bipartisan bills into law last year, from preventing government shutdowns, to protecting Asian Americans from still too common hate crimes, to reforming military justice, and will soon be strengthening the Violence Against Women Act that I first wrote 3 decades ago. It's important.
A lot of them don't want that.
It's important for us to show the nation we can come together and do big things. So tonight I'm offering a unity agenda for the nation.
Uh-oh.
4 big things we can do together, in my view. First, beat the opioid epidemic. There's so much we can do. Increase funding for prevention, treatment, harm reduction, and recovery. Get rid of outdated rules and stop doctors that stop doctors from prescribing treatments. Stop the flow of illicit drugs by working with state and local law enforcement to go after the traffickers. And if you're suffering from addiction, you should know you're not alone. I believe in recovery, and I celebrate the 23 million Americans in recovery. Second, let's take on mental health, especially among our children whose lives and education have been turned upside down. The American Rescue Plan gave schools money to hire teachers and help students make up for lost learning. I urge every parent to make sure your school does just that. They have the money. We can all play a part. Sign up to be a tutor or a mentor. Children were also struggling before the pandemic, bullying, violence, trauma, and the harms of social media. As Frances Haugen, who is here tonight with us, has shown, we must hold social media platforms accountable for the national experiment they're conducting on our children for profit. Folks, thank you. Thank you for the courage you showed. It's time to strengthen privacy protections, ban targeted advertising to children, demand tech companies stop collecting personal data on our children, and let's get all Americans the mental health services they need. More people can turn for help and full parity between physical and mental health care if we treat it that way in our insurance.
That's a must.
Look.
At least everyone clapping for that.
The third piece of that agenda is support our veterans.
Whoa.
Veterans are the backbone.
Nancy Pelosi almost fell down.
They're the best of us. I've always believed that we have a sacred obligation to equip those we send to war and care for those in their family when they come home. My administration is providing assistance in job training, housing, and now helping lower-income veterans get VA care debt-free. And our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan have faced many dangers, one being stationed at bases breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits. Many of you have been there.
What's Nancy Pelosi
I've
doing?
been out of Iraq and Afghanistan over 40 times.
Anybody know what on earth Nancy Pelosi's doing?
The waste of war, medical and hazards material, jet fuel, and so much more. And they come home, many of the world's fittest and best trained warriors in the world. Never the same. Headaches, numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag-draped coffin. I know.
Who the hell just yelled?
One of those.
Did you guys hear that?
Son, Major Bo Biden. I don't know for sure if the burn pit.
Who is yelling?
That his hooch was near in Iraq and earlier than that in Kosovo is the cause of his brain cancer, the disease of so many other troops. But I am committed to find out everything we can, committed to military families like Danielle Robinson from Ohio, the widow of Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson. He was born a soldier, Army National Guard, combat medic in Kosovo and Iraq, stationed near Baghdad, just yards from burn pits the size of football fields. Danielle is here with us tonight. They loved going to Ohio State football games.
Who the hell yelled out when Biden was talking about his dead son? It sounded like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And he loved building Legos with their daughter. But cancer from prolonged exposure to burn pits ravaged Heath's lungs and body. Danielle says Heath was a fighter to the very end. He didn't know how to stop fighting, and neither did she. Through her pain, she found purpose to demand that we do better. Tonight, Danielle, we are going to do better. The VA is pioneering new ways of linking toxic exposure to disease, already helping more veterans get benefits. And tonight, I'm announcing we're expanding eligibility to veterans suffering from 9 respiratory cancers. I'm also calling on Congress to pass a law to make sure veterans devastated by toxic exposure in Iraq and Afghanistan finally get the benefits and the comprehensive health care they deserve. And fourth and last, let's end cancer as we know it. This is personal.
I'm being told Green yelled out, "You put 13 of them in flag-draped coffins."
To Jill and to Kamala.
What a sick woman.
So many of you have lost someone you love. Husband, wife, son, daughter, mom, dad. Cancer is the number 2 cause of death in America, second only to heart disease. Last month, I announced the plan to supercharge the cancer moonshot that President Obama asked me to lead 6 years ago. Our goal is to cut cancer death rates by at least 50% over the next 25 years. I think we can do better than that. Turn cancers from death sentences into treatable diseases. More support for patients and their families.
Now I'm being told it was Lauren Boebert who yelled out, not Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What I called ARPA-H, Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health. Patterned after DARPA in the Defense Department. Projects that led in DARPA to the internet, GPS, and so much more that make our forces more safer and be able to wage war more with more clarity.
Oof.
ARPA will have a singular purpose: to drive breakthroughs in cancer, Alzheimer's and diabetes, and more. A unity agenda for the nation. We can do these things. It's within our power. And I don't see a partisan edge to any one of those 4 things. My fellow Americans, tonight, we've gathered in this sacred space, a citadel of democracy, in this Capitol. Generation after generation of Americans have debated great questions amid great strife and have done great things. We fought for freedom, expanded liberty, debated totalitarianism and terror. We built the strongest, freest, and most prosperous nation the world has ever known. Now is the hour, our moment of responsibility, our test of resolve and conscience, of history itself. It is in this moment that our character of this generation is formed. Our purpose is found. Our future is forged. Well, I know this nation. We'll meet the test, protect freedom and liberty, expand fairness and opportunity, and we will save democracy. As hard as those times have been, I'm more optimistic about America today than I've been my whole life, because I see the future that's within our grasp, because I know there's simply nothing beyond our capacity. We're the only nation on earth that has always turned every crisis we've faced into an opportunity. The only nation that can be defined by a single word: possibilities. So on this night, on our 245th year as a nation, I've come to report on the state of the nation, the State of the Union. And my report is this: the State of the Union is strong because you, the American people, are strong. We are stronger today. We are stronger today than we were a year ago. And we'll be stronger a year from now than we are today. This is our moment to meet and overcome the challenges of our time. And we will, as one people, one America, the United States of America.
Oh, man.
God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
This crowd.
Get him.
I guess at least Republicans cheered for ending cancer. I mean, it's... So there is the State of the Union address from President Joe Biden, greeting any number of different people here, including Senator Amy Klobuchar and others. I think my immediate reaction, and you guys tell me what you think, and we've got the Republican response coming up. My immediate reaction is this was more or less the tone that was expected. and that maybe makes sense given the circumstances. Almost everything that was proposed will never see the light of day. I mean, just never see the light of day. Some of it hopefully will. And it was an opportunity for Republicans to show their disdain for just about anything Joe Biden wants to do. Regardless of whether the legislative proposals will come forward, Republicans are against it. They're against it. That they made very, very clear. So that's my sense. I mean, I'm going to think about it more overnight before tomorrow's podcast, but I would give it, I think I would give it a B. I don't know. What do people think? Is B plus seems too high, but it wasn't bad. Just kind of a B. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was fine. He did what he had to do. I mean, I guess, the B minus, a lot of people saying. Yeah, the transitions were notably bad. Notably bad. There was like a whiplash sort of thing going on. The transitions, and I don't think it was Biden's fault. I mean, he was just reading what was there. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. But, a solid B. I actually did not get bingo. Let me think here. He didn't whisper. I didn't see anybody sleeping. No nukes mentioned. No Soul of America. Didn't say malarkey. He didn't call Putin a thug. Didn't say my friends. Didn't say that. Oh, he said make no mistake, right? I think he did say here, make no mistake. Did he say here's the deal? I mean, I guess with this, I do have diagonal bingo. Make no mistake. Well, listen, he said a bunch of the things I had on here. It's about playing the game. It's not necessarily about winning. But that's okay. Please don't leave, by the way, because we're about to hear the Republican response. Which I'm sure would be horrifying, absolutely horrifying. Thanks to Bernie on a Boat for the Twitch Prime subscription, and just an absolutely incredible day. Thank you to Red Glowstick as well. Jacob coming in with a $50 super chat says, don't know about his speech, but I'll give you an A, Pacman. I appreciate that. Let's try to figure out who actually yelled out. Let's see. Boebert yelled. Let's see if it's Boebert. Was it Boebert? Or was it Green? It's not really clear to me. It was Boebert, apparently. I'm seeing reports that it was indeed Boebert. Guys, super chats are coming in as we wait for the Republican response. I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. He didn't mention student loans, so he gets an F. B, because so much of his agenda relies on Build Back Better. How are terrorists like Green and Boebert even allowed in the same room as the president? That's a good question. Oust Boebert and oust Boebert. Here's Justice Stephen Breyer, who seemed almost visibly bashful when Joe Biden sung his praises. And Breyer seems to be satisfied, I guess. What a character. I mean, just his facial expressions are amazing. What an absolute character. And off he goes, I guess. Joe Biden speaking to any number of different people. The Republican response will be, people are saying don't even cover the Republican response. Welcome Avon Jr., who's a new member on my website. Yeah, all right. You know what? I'm fine. Let's do this instead. Since so many people signed up, let me just take a few calls. Oh, here's our friend Eric Swalwell. I'm just going to take a few calls instead of the Republican response. I mean, quite frankly, I'm not going to cover the Republican response tomorrow, so it's kind of like, who cares? I'd rather just hear from a few of you guys. If you want to talk to me, go to davidpacman.com/Discord and get in the waiting lobby. And I will I'll talk to a few of you guys, but just do me one favor. Please get right into your comment, because otherwise it's going to get very, very ugly. davidpakman.com/Discord. Get in the waiting lobby and go right into your comment. We'll hear from a few people. If you're heading out, make sure you're following us on whatever platform, YouTube or Twitch or whatever. But let's hear from a few people here just to see what's on people's minds. First on the air is John from San Francisco. John, what'd you think?
Hey, can you hear me, David?
Yes, I can, John.
Great. Thank you for doing these. I really appreciate your input on these. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Everything good in San Francisco?
As good as it can be. Everything opening back up, so glad to see that.
All right, very good. I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right, John from San Francisco checking in. Let's go rapid fire next to Adam from Mississippi. What'd you think, Adam?
I liked it. I thought he did a pretty good job.
What'd you think was the weakest moment?
B+, and B, I think.
B, okay.
But I wanted to ask you, is there any sort of rule set up against someone shouting out in the way that supposedly Boebert did?
I think it's just a decorum thing. I think it's just she's vile. I don't think it's about rules. There may be, kind of they may put out a thing saying you did a bad, like they did to that guy. I think it was Joe Wilson who yelled out when Obama was speaking, but I don't know that there's a rule per se.
Okay.
I mean, maybe she was out of order, we might say. I don't know.
I mean, I agree. Absolutely out of order, totally vile. But I was hoping there was some sort of tangible repercussion she might be able to face. But if not, I suppose it is what it is.
I wouldn't hold my breath. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. People are actually doing a good job today of getting right into their question or comment. Let's go next to Miles from Michigan. Miles from Michigan, you're on the air. What's going on?
I thought that was a pretty good speech and everything, but much of the last caller, I just honestly was disgusted by whoever it was yelling out, just come on.
I'm being told it was Boebert. Yeah, it was totally disgusting.
Yeah, so
I mean, just a horrible person,
Yeah. Well,
there's people for example, there's people who aren't my thing politically, but I'm only mentioning Mitt Romney just because I've seen documentaries about him and know people that know him. I'm not with Mitt Romney politically, but I would be sort of generally interested in sitting down with Mitt Romney and having a conversation. I have no interest in ever being around Boebert or saying a word to her. She's just gross,
I definitely can second what you're saying about Romney because, Romney has shown time and time again, sure, he's a Republican, but at the same time, he doesn't let that forego being a good human being.
Yeah, to some degree at least anyway. I mean, strapping the dog to the roof of his car while it had diarrhea wasn't exactly the most great thing to do, but I think he learned from that.
I'm sorry, did I miss something?
Yeah, Romney did that. That was a big thing. He strapped his dog to the roof of his car, and it was so anxious it was having explosive diarrhea during an entire road trip.
Okay, well, that's a thing.
Yeah. All right, Miles from Michigan, thank you. Are you in that Upper Peninsula piece that's separated by a lake?
No,
you're not. Okay, cool. All right, thank you for the call, my friend.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's go next to Lori from. Is it Lori from Mexico?
Yep. Thank you.
All right, let's go next to Lori from. Is it Lori from Texas?
Oh shit.
Let's go next to Lori from. Is it Lori from Texas?
Okay.
Okay. Moving on. Let's go next. Let's go next to Kenzie from Houston. Kenzie, what did you think of the speech? Moving on. Let's go next. Kenzie from Houston. Kenzie, what did you think of the speech?
Hi, David. I'm actually a history teacher, so I was kind of critiquing it the entire time.
Okay, and what were your critiques? And please.
I'm actually a history teacher, so.
Oh, no. Kenzie, you got to turn that off. You got to talk to me.
Personally, I would give him a B or so. But really, my question is, what do you think Joe Manchin needs to convince him to vote for Biden's agenda?
Well, it depends on which bill you're talking about. I don't think there's just one thing, but I think Manchin needs goodies, as we like to call them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Manchin, but I think we just got to flip some seats. I don't think we should even need to be counting on Manchin. Okay. Thank you, Kenzie. Very, very chaotic phone call. Extraordinarily chaotic phone call. It was going so well, but then it got really, really tough. Let's go to Mike from Queens, New York. Mike, what did you think?
Hey, David. Thank you for the stream.
Pleasure.
I just wanted to make a comment that we've had Obama, who was heckled.
Yep.
Trump, who, to my knowledge, was not heckled.
Correct.
And now Biden, who was heckled.
Yep.
So is this just something we have to accept, that when a Democrat holds a State of the Union, they're going to get heckled?
Basically, and they'll be called a communist too. Obama was called a communist, and Biden's called a communist. So yeah, it is. I guess this is what it is now.
Yeah, I find the double standards a little bit frustrating, but I guess it is what it is, and yeah, that's all I had to say.
How's Queens these days?
It's fine. There's some corruption with Eric Adams and everything, so people aren't too happy about that. But all the mandates here are lifting. New York City's going back to normal. So, it's kind of been business as usual for a while. Nobody's really been wearing the mask as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Stores still have the signs up, please wear a mask, but you go in there and nobody's enforcing it. Nobody's wearing it.
You ever go to the Argentinian restaurants in Queens? There's some good ones.
I haven't been to like a real restaurant since before the pandemic, really. I do like little takeout from local places, but I've been mostly trying to stay away from it.
Got it. And you don't go to Chick-fil-A, do you?
The Chick-fil-A, they are opening more Chick-fil-A's. It used to be a struggle to find one, but no, I've never been to a Chick-fil-A once.
Beautiful. All right. I congratulate you. Thank you for the call.
Thank you very much.
All right. Guys, by the way, if you want to talk to me, you got to get in the waiting lobby on our Discord. All of these people trying to call me and sending me direct messages on Discord, I'm just going to have to block you because it's just too annoying. I have a system here, guys. I have a system. Let's go to Paul Garcia from Mexico. Go. Paul Garcia from Mexico. Go. All right. Well, that's too bad. Let's go next to William from Las Vegas. William, you are on the air. What's going on? What'd you think?
David, great to talk to you again.
Now, hold on a second. William, are you the financial advisor with the Trumpist clients from Vegas?
Negative, sir.
Okay.
Negative. No good, sir. No, I'm the guy that you recommended Vesta Roastery Coffee to a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Which is a great coffee place.
Tremendous coffee. Tremendous coffee.
Yes. I agree that there probably won't be a whole lot of policy that sees the light of day. But let's talk about how refreshing it was to have a State of the Union where a president at least brought up policy.
Sure, yeah. That's true.
Gap.
Yeah, it's like there's levels, right? Trump doesn't even mention policy. Biden does, but none of it will pass. It is better. I agree with you. At least there's like the idea of what you might do if you didn't have obstructionist Republicans ruining everything you tried to do.
That's right. So at least on that aspect, I'd say B+, maybe A-, that we're getting back more closer to normal.
Yeah, even a lot of the policy he mentioned, he was like, we're going to crack down on people charging customers too much. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Are you talking about price controls? Like, what was that even about?
At least it's not name calling like what we had with Brand X before.
I agree.
So in that aspect,
I agree.
I'm happy.
I'm with you.
David, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, a question for you. I might go to Vegas in a month, but I'm not sure just because, like, is it insane there right now? Like, what's going on? Is it just going to feel crazy after 2 years of a pandemic to go to Vegas in a month?
Well, when was the last? You haven't been here for 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a little bit different because we're so close to California, and there was this big exodus from California because people were frustrated with the mask mandates in California. Yeah. Even though we still had them here, the casinos were pretty locked down on the mask mandates because that's where their money comes from. They didn't want to have an outbreak that kind of locked down the casinos.
Right.
But right now on the Strip or Fremont, it's pretty wide open. And it also depends on what you do. I don't know what you have planned to do here. But it's not crazy. And bear in mind, I'm talking about Las Vegas crazy. It's normal for Vegas.
Okay, yeah. No, I'd be going to like a small conference and just having some dinners and meetings and stuff like that.
Oh, you should be fine. Sadly, there was this horrible instance where our governor was accosted just the other night here as him and his family were eating dinner. I'll send you the clip or the news link on Twitter. It was pretty gross, but by and large, if you're coming here, I think you'll be fine with it. Hopefully you will.
All right. I'll wear a hazmat suit just in case.
Well, if I see you, a coffee's on me this time.
All right, thank you. There's William from Vegas checking in with us very, very strongly. We're taking calls via Discord, davidpakman.com/Discord. Let's go next to Steph from Glasgow. Steph, it's got to be, what, 3:30 in the morning there? What are you doing? Steph from Glasgow, you're on the air. Steph?
Of the two houses now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Steph. Are you in Glasgow, Scotland?
I am, yeah.
And is it 3:30 in the morning?
It is, yes.
And what are you doing calling me right now?
Well, I stayed up specifically to watch the stream.
Oh my God, thank you. I think you're like the all-star caller of the day.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for streaming it because I wouldn't have watched it otherwise. So
Thank you. Now, I'm curious, do you care about the president of the U.S. giving a State of the Union?
Do you know, I think, see, because of the previous president for the last 4 years and the laughing stock that he made of America, I think it's just like refreshing to see somebody that seems like they actually care.
You're reveling in the normality of it, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, Biden compared to our Boris Johnson is refreshing also. So
Yes, that's true. Hey, listen, when you hear me speak with my southwestern New England accent, does it sound strange to you where you go, whoa, that's a weird way to speak English?
Yeah, the way that you say some things, I don't know, just it sounds weird to me.
That's fascinating. Well, like what's a particular word that I say weird?
Recently, how you say Moscow?
Moscow.
Yeah, because I think you say it kind
Moscow.
of more
No,
like
I say Moscow. Moscow is how I think I say it. Moscow.
Yeah, and I say Moscow.
Moscow.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay. Is there any other one?
not that I can think of off
Wow.
the top of my head, no.
That's
But-
stunning. All right. Well, wow. Do you have to get up early tomorrow for work or something?
No, actually, I'm not working at the moment, but
perfect.
I think I'm also just up late because I'm quite anxious because we're getting some scan results from my mum tomorrow. So
Sorry, you're getting scammers out tomorrow, did you say?
scan results.
Oh, scan results. Oh, all right. Well, I wish you absolutely the best with that. I hope it's all positive. I hope it's negative. What I mean is, I hope everything's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's my mum. It's probably going to be cancer. So
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
I appreciate you calling in.
No worries. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, stay in touch. Wow, Steph from Glasgow. That's tough. That's very, very tough. Really, really appreciate speaking with Steph, though. Let's see who else we can talk to here. I don't know, maybe Jess from Florida. Jess from Florida.
Hello?
Hey,
Can you
Jess.
hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, so I missed the beginning of the State of the Union, but basically, I wish he went over more detail, like fewer points and more detail.
I know.
And honestly, this guy knows, he knows how to tell a speech, and I wish he brought, the crowd together more at the end, maybe bringing up Ukraine at the end for optics, it would have gotten both sides excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's why I said it's a B. I think the order of the speech could have been better. I think the pacing could have been better. And I think maybe touching on a fewer topics in slightly more detail, I would have preferred. But who the hell am I, you know?
I would I would say maybe C plus, B minus.
Yeah.
You're a little nice on him.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more thing, real quick. I'm like, I don't know. I think that bringing up whoever was like chanting or like trying to make little nasty comments during a speech.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth giving them that much attention, you know?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. No, you may be right. They're desperate for attention. Jess, where in Florida are you?
Gainesville. I'm actually the one who called last week.
Oh, okay. You know, I got a bunch of complaints from people in Gainesville who said the person told you Gainesville's conservative, but it's actually liberal, and I looked it up, and it is.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So we're like a little tiny blue oasis, like a little blue dot in a sea of red.
Right.
But also, I mean, okay, I gotta also say, much love to my Floridian friends.
Yes.
But we're not nearly as liberal as Gainesvillians think. Like,
Okay.
I have family in Oregon. I have family in California. And even in Phoenix, like, we're purple. We're purple. You know,
Okay.
we're like a fuchsia.
Can you get a good bagel in that part of Florida, or is it too far from where the Jews are?
It's a bit too far.
It's
We're
too
a little
far.
bit too swampy out here.
That's what I
Too
thought.
humid.
That's what I thought. In Miami, you can get great bagels. Jess, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me speak.
All right. Jess from Florida clarifying misstatements from before. Let's go to Alozek from the United Kingdom. What are you also up late, Alozek? Alozek, hello.
Hello, David.
Yes.
I was going to give the speech a C, but then the reaction that I got from watching the audio from overlapping in the Discord calls made it give me about an A, maybe an A minus.
In other words, the speech was a C, but the infinite audio loop from the person listening incorrectly on Discord made you rate the stream itself much higher.
I would say so, yes, but even if that has nothing to do with the speech itself, I would say that made it a lot more enjoyable.
I understand. Well, I appreciate that.
Many thanks you. I will catch you later, David.
Well, and let me ask, why are you up in the middle of the night?
Because I just play video games.
Oh, and how late do you stay up gaming?
Typically, it's like 3 or 4ish.
Wow.
Obviously, it's not usually 3 or 4. It's just that, but it's a rarity for me.
And then when do you wake up if you go to bed at 4?
Oh, typically would be 1ish.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow, what a schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the call.
And thank you for the stream.
All right.
Appreciate
Wow.
it.
There we go. Incredible callers. I'm learning so much. Let's go to Casey from Denver. Casey, you're on the air.
Hey, David. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, I think I would give that State of the Union a very powerful B.
Okay.
Not a B plus, not a B minus, but a powerful B.
Yeah, I think it was a B. It was like B minus starts to seem too low, and it certainly wasn't a B plus. That's how I end up on a B.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed just sort of the camera kind of cutting to different political figures' faces. Like, I think it was, talking about women's, right to choose, and they cut over to Amy Coney Barrett. It's always interesting to see those reactions.
It is. I agree with you.
All right. Well, appreciate the stream.
All right. Thank you. There is Denver, Colorado checking in. Let's go to Shayna from California. Shayna, you're on the air. What'd you think of the speech?
David, sir, I give the speech a A minus to a B plus.
Wow, ma'am, that's quite high.
Yeah, well, because you have his little missteps like Iranian,
Yeah.
but I don't know, the maggots are probably going to jump down his throat over that, but you all know what he meant to say. It's not like, you didn't say it on purpose.
What was your favorite policy proposal that he made?
The the ban on ghost guns and the universal background checks.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to get that done. I don't think there's any chance, but.
Yes, but he was very convincing, though.
Good. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You thought it was slightly better than I thought, and that's fine.
Especially the conclusion. I mean, the conclusion is more powerful than anything else.
That was the highest energy. That was the highest energy moment.
That's his high point. Go get him.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Shayna, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Shayna with probably the highest rating so far. Let's try Becca from Lancaster. Becca, you're on the air. What did you think?
Hi. I really liked it. I liked what he had to say about schools, and the importance of kids being in schools. I work in a school, so that really stood out to me.
Interesting. And are you I don't know, is the school you're in, has it gone mask free yet?
It is mask free. I still wear mine. My daughter wears her.
Oh, okay.
But but I'm a lunch lady, and what I really appreciated last year and this year is that meals are free for all students. And next school year, that's not going to be the case anymore. And
Right.
I really wish that is something that would be extended, because so many families benefit from that.
This has been talked about, and Fox News was like, what, imagine if kids grow up thinking lunch is free. It's like, oh my God, that's the reason not to do it. Kids might grow up thinking lunch is free. I absolutely think school lunch should be free. The reduced and the free tickets have a different color. Typically, it stigmatizes the kids who are getting the reduced or free lunch. It's all bad. Now, we all have memories from lunch ladies growing up. Can you give us sort of like what's a secret that lunch ladies hold that would be shocking to everybody who has ever been in a school? Like what do we not know about what's happening behind the scenes with lunch ladies?
Oh my goodness, we can have fun. We have dance parties. We play the music loud. We have fun.
Wow. So when we go down there and the lunch ladies seem miserable and they're handing out the sandwiches, earlier they were actually enjoying themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
That makes me feel a little bit better, I have to tell you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
All right, good. Thank you so much for the call.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, Becca from Lancaster County. Very, very strong. Let's go next to Jamie on Oahu. What time is it in Hawaii? Is it like 5:40 p.m. or something?
Exactly 5:40 p.m.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you for the call. What's on your mind?
I'm just I'm a little disappointed that nothing's moving with our current administration.
Yeah.
Unhappy with the prices over here.
Okay. And Hawaii, I mean, prices are outrageous in Hawaii because it's an island, right?
Yes, our gas prices are outrageous. Milk is outrageous. Luckily, I don't drink milk, so that doesn't really affect me. But obviously, gas does. I live off grid, so.
What's gas going for in Hawaii?
About $4.40 a gallon.
For 87?
Yep.
Oh, that seems high.
Yep.
That seems high.
That's really high.
What's a gallon of milk?
A gallon of milk's about $7.
Really? Now, is that like pasture raised organic or what?
That's just regular milk.
Oh my God. Yeah. Is it at least it's a gallon though, for sure?
Yeah, for a gallon. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if you got pasture raised organic, you'd be looking at like $9. But eggs are really expensive too, so unless you get like mainland eggs, and those are not, you want to get like local eggs because you want to support the local farmers.
Of course.
So
do you find that people's behavior is because that's a place where there's just, it's always expensive in Hawaii. Are people modifying their behavior because of the prices?
I think so, yeah, because I think that people are trying to buy local to support each other.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to buy more of the local produce, which is more expensive because it's just really expensive. Like farming is expensive in itself,
Right. It's crazy though, because you would think what's expensive is flying things out there, but you're saying even the local stuff is very expensive.
Well, yeah, because it's hard. It's hard work, and but the farming wide scale by definition makes it cheaper for them, so they are able to undercut the small you know, the boutique farmers.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
And is it 88
we're trying to
degrees
buy local.
all year, every day?
It gets a little cooler at night, if that makes you feel better.
What is it, 80 at night or?
I live up on a mountain, so it drops down to like 60 at night.
Oh, okay. But it's 88 during the
I
day.
have to use a blanket. I have to put a hoodie on.
Okay.
So
Well, listen, it sounds like the struggle is real, so I'm going to, yeah,
it is.
I'll let you get back to that struggle.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Jamie from Hawaii. Very, very interesting callers here. Why don't we check in with Timothy from Miami? Timothy, are you calling from Miami or Miami Beach? Oh, God. Why don't we check in with Timothy from Miami? Timothy, are you calling from Miami or Miami Beach?
Miami.
Okay. Timothy, could you listen to me in Discord instead of through the stream? Because otherwise we'll have a 15-second delay.
Hello?
Yeah.
David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, man, I can't believe I'm here.
I can't either.
Okay, yeah, so the thing is, sorry about the noise, I just didn't expect it. But the thing about the State of the Union is I thought it was very good. I mean, the thing about Biden is, you know, he's a very interesting type of speaker, but, you know, thing is, I also wanted to ask you a question of, are you covering the Republican response tonight?
No, it's on right now. I mean, we're watching it, and if people want to read the subtitles, they can, but I'm talking to you instead. No. You feeling like that was the right decision?
Oh, okay, cool. All right then, David, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I actually don't know that. I think the entire call he might have been listening to his speakers. I don't know. I don't know that we were. I think it only by chance sort of seemed like a conversation. But you guys let me know. Let's go next to Haley from Georgia. Haley, what's going on?
Hey, David. Good to talk to you again.
Likewise.
I just wanted to ask you if was Mitch McConnell's face enough to put sleeping Republicans on my bingo card?
You know, technically he did seem awake. He seemed comatose or sedated, but I do think technically he was awake.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think we would be taking a liberty if we checked off audience members sleeping just on the basis of him being. He was as still as I've ever seen a human being be, but.
I agree. I also just wanted to thank you for featuring me in the mailbag a couple weeks ago, and last week you featured me on Pac-Man Live in our last call, and that was just so great.
Oh, and what was your email that got featured?
It was the one on the Carhartt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wrote in something about how it was cracking you up that the Republicans are burning Carhartt stuff because they're pissed about the vaccines, but then a lot of the stuff's flame retardant, right?
Yes, and I was like, it's like making my day, and I was like, does that make me a bad person? And then today you said something about like, does like something make me a bad person for appreciating them being so mad?
Oh yeah, no, the trucker convoy, the fact that it failed so hard, it just brings me joy. I don't know. Yeah. All right, well, Haley, thank you. Great to check in.
Yes, good to talk to you.
All right, take care. There's Haley from Georgia. Let's go to Gage from Delaware. Gage, did Delaware's own Joe Biden make you proud tonight?
Well, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Relative to like Obama and Trump, like he's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
When it came to giving speeches, I feel like honestly he really deserved like a C.
Okay. So you don't agree with me on B. You think it was a C speech.
Yeah, I mean for Joe Biden standards, I definitely think it's a B, but
Okay.
it's probably more of a C if we had to be, kind about it.
You mean if we weren't on a curve, you're saying it would be a C?
Yeah, if we weren't doing the bell curve.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I expectations are pretty low. It's just sort of like, given the state of the world and the state of politics, how good is the speech really going to be? I do get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the substance was pretty all right, but like you said, I don't think most of the things are going to really be foreseen. They're going to be done.
Yeah, the order was weird. The transitions were bizarre. I think he should have maybe ended with some Ukraine stuff and then like actually explained how he would even accomplish one of the things he mentioned. Yeah, there's a lot of things to criticize. Maybe it was a B-. I don't know. Now I'm talking myself into a B-.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that more.
Yeah.
But I also have one quick question.
Please.
So I actually shop at this Amish and like Mennonite store.
Okay.
And they have like a lot of like misinformation about COVID-19 and everything like that. And like I kind of take some of the pamphlets that like openly say that masks are killing people and stuff. Would you say that's like something you agree with or disagree with?
I disagree that masks are killing people.
Okay, well, no, I meant like...
No, I'm kidding. You're saying, do I agree with taking all their pamphlets, right?
I'm not saying they're the ones that put them out. I think someone else, like it's like a public space.
I think that that's basically a victimless crime. I think taking all the pamphlets instead of one so that there aren't any left, I can get behind that. I think that that's good. You're not doxing anybody. You're not hurting anybody. I think that's fine. People in the audience can agree or disagree, but yeah, I can't tell you that what you're doing is morally wrong.
Okay. Well, I just always wanted that opinion. I appreciate it.
Now, you are recycling them, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. If you were taking them and if you were taking them and throwing them in the trash, I would have to tell you it's not okay. But as long as you're recycling them, it's good.
Yeah, I have a small stash underneath my car seat mat.
Beautiful.
I just need to throw them out. Yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, Gage.
Anyway,
Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Sometimes I crack myself up. I really do. Let's see who else we can talk to here. It's tough because there's just so many people who are... I did not expect a call about Amish pamphlets, anti-vax, anti-mask pamphlets, that's for sure. Why don't we talk to Annabelle? Annabelle, go.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just thinking about Putin and why he did this now. Like, why not do it when Trump was president? Because Trump loves Putin and would probably help.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's very hard to explain the behavior of such a chaotic narcissist. It's sort of like, why did Trump do any of the things he did when he did them? It's a similar thing. Like, why did Trump take classified documents rather than declassify them or whatever? I don't really think we're going to know the answer. Republicans will say Putin didn't do it under Trump because he was scared of Trump. And I think, of course, there's no evidence of that. I think that another interpretation that's speculative would be, well, Putin didn't do it under Trump because he felt like he didn't need to because things were as good as they had been for a while under Trump. I just don't think we have the answer. I don't know that it's useful to speculate because Putin's a chaotic guy. I just don't think we know right now.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, that was about it.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, Annabelle.
Yep. See you later.
See you later. All right, everybody. Thank you. That is going to do it. We have seen the State of the Union. We were all here. We brought in close to 200 memberships, and it's been quite an evening. It really has been. I appreciate everybody who joined me, and it's 4 a.m. where I am, so I've got to get to bed. I will see everybody very, very soon. That's a joke, sort of, maybe, but not really. See you soon.